Some of you failed, some of you died, all of you lost. And you awaken in the inn. Your memory's still a little bit fuzzy as to how you got to the inn. Of course, I'm completely open to character background, so how you got here, your motivations for being here are your own. You can share them or not. And when you come to, although you're mechanically speaking at full hit points, blah, 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 any sort of damage you took in the dream, you kind of have aches and a little bit of pains where, yeah, that's right, they're in the dream, they don't appear next to you. You'll still have those aches and pains on your body. So like if you were hit by an arrow, if you were hit by some kind of spell, something, then you've kind of still got that feeling when you awake. And you guys, you all awaken in your rooms, rooms that you've no doubt rented for the night, which, being a nice GM, I won't charge you for. And you all come to, you have like an odd sense of this dream that you shared. Everyone's in those rooms apart from Road, who works in the inn, and one of the other players works in the inn too, but Road's on the door, so he's in a different area, and you'll awaken.
Okay, so I'll be over there. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm. Yep. In terms of the time, it's early morning. The tavern is not full at all. There are a few regular patrons in there that are in there quite a lot, who you can speak to if you wish. Kiki is helping Lissy behind the bar, serving drinks, cleaning glasses. And as I say, Road up here is on the door doing his job. He is a huge looking bear guy. He's generally the bouncer to the place. And there's a few small conversations going on, a few people sitting at tables having drinks, and pretty much all you can see on the map is what's going on.
I'm gonna collect all my stuff and pack up my bag, and then slowly make my way out to the bar room for breakfast.
Okay. You get the smells of breakfast. Smells good, actually. You've been to a few different inns, and some are good, some really aren't so good. This is one of the better ones. The smell gives you that instant awake feeling, and your stomach comments angrily that it's empty and it requires filling. Behind the bar, you can see that there is the owner. She's making herself busy. She's cleaning things up. She has a ledger out in front of her as well that she's writing in, probably the profits from the previous night. And she's doing that kind of thing. Also behind the bar, you see a small woman. She looks like that. She looks like she probably works here. She looks like one of the barmaids. And no doubt she'll look at you as you sit down.
The can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do you drop pictures inside Roll20? How you guys have shown pictures of characters?
I do it by a command, but if you want to drop a picture under the macros, there's one called chat, 2 dots pic, and if you do that and the web address, it will link it into the chat.
2 dots pic.
And the way Andy did the one there with his character, there's another one called chat, :talk.
Yeah. Which they're on your token actions. So when you click your token across the top, you should have chat name, chat talk.
So okay, so the pic you have to have an address for, right? You can't you can't go to like your computer and like. Let's see here. Okay, so cool. Sorry about that.
You can actually drag and drop a character picture into your character sheet, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was just if I wanted to like say like she's wearing this dress or she's got this item. You want me to show you guys?
I think what you might be able to do is if you post it in Discord,
All right, I'll do it there then.
Lex should be able to pick it up and show if he wants to.
The
Mhm.
ice then.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll just do stuff there. Sorry. Yeah, she's a very simple woman. Average appearance. She's wearing a white dress like this. It's a sweater and a dress. And she's got a hat that's got some, like an owl taxidermied hat that she doesn't necessarily wear around all the time, but she's got it behind the counter.
I say, miss. Miss. Over here, miss.
She glances over at you like she notices you, and then she makes her way over to you, but she doesn't say anything.
How much for a spot of tea and crumpets?
She immediately does like a hand gesture for how much it costs with her hands, but you notice that she doesn't speak.
I count the fingers on her hand gesture.
Okay, whatever the average price is or the normal prices, she quotes you the price.
It'd be a few silver, not much at all.
Okay. So she's like 3 fingers.
Oh, sorry, I'm a little short. I've got... Oh, never mind. Here you go. And I hand her three silver.
Okay, cool.
She takes it, gives you like a friendly smile, and kind of walks away. You get the impression that she's not very talkative.
I'm gonna kind of look around the room, see who else is here.
So, as you look around, you can see
Full
some other
Yoda.
people sitting. There's a guy at one table, and he's been in here a few times. He likes to play cards and games of chance with everything. He's a Pruane elf. He looks like he's quite aristocratic as well. His garb is very well made. He's always got a lot of gold, which he keeps quite openly. He likes to play anyone that wants to challenge him at pretty much anything. And he's the one sitting there. At one of the other tables is a regular, Brock. Brock is an ogre. He's unusual in as much as his skin is blue as the sky, and he is massive and strong. He likes to sit around and drink. Rumor has it he works for the guard, but no one actually sees him doing his job, but I don't think anyone wants to question him on it. He's just enjoying a rather large tankard of something strong. Also, close by on one of the tables is this fellow. He's a Frostbeard dwarf. He's been selling his brews in here. Normally, Listy wouldn't tolerate someone selling brews like separately from the inn, but because he's a Icebeard dwarf, their brews are different and magical in property. They give you resistance to the cold. And as in the covenant with the Pruane elves, who run pretty much everything under the Dark Goddess, they're allowed to sell their wares where they sell them. He gives Listy a percentage of the sales. Not very much, but a little bit to get by. In the corner up here is a gentleman that hasn't introduced himself. You're not sure of his name, but he looks like he's selling general wares. He does also pay Listy a tithe, and it's a good one. He sets up shop here every day. He usually sells to people that are passing by, adventurers, travelers, people who just need general wares, anything from cold weather equipment to food to minor weaponry. He's pretty much your man. At the bar, and sitting rather close to our player who ordered breakfast, is this shaggy-looking wizened goblin. This fellow has been at the bar all night, and he looks exceptionally old. And for a goblin, that's quite impressive. He has ordered nothing but Brack tea. He doesn't drink any kind of beers or anything like that. And he's kind of been looking at the place as though he's waiting to meet someone. Perhaps he was stood up. He's been here all night and it's the morning. He doesn't seem particularly angry by it. He's just kind of relaxing at the bar. Other than that, you know that there's a very large bear man, Road. Is that how you pronounce your name? Road? Rod? He works as the bouncer. As far as you know, Listy took him in. She tends to do that with people in need. Last night, some travellers came in and they went to bed and they basically spent the night. It was fine. One of them is this chap. He looks like he's Fey and one of the native Feys. You're not really sure what his deal is. He pretty much kept himself to himself, just went to bed. Didn't hear much of him. Also at the bar is this fellow. He's an orc. He's got light skin. He looks like he'd been out traveling for most of the night. He was completely frozen through, wet, sodden. He spent some time by the fire just warming up. And he's asleep at the bar. His kind of like chin is braced against the bar top and he's snoring lightly. You thought maybe you'd have to move him on, Kiki, but Listy said it's fine. These things happen. And he's just snoozing there. And that's everyone in the bar.
Kiki's gonna make the rounds. She's gonna ignore the guy over in the right-hand corner there, and then go to the elven guy and try to take orders, make sure everybody's got everything that they should have. Would a pad of paper would that be a rare thing? Like parchment is rare, or is it something that is around?
No, paper's super common.
Okay, cool. Then she has a pad of paper on a string around her neck, and she has some sort of like, I don't know, maybe some sort of marking utensil.
Mhm.
That she kind of comes up and she looks to him, and since he's a regular, he knows that she doesn't speak. She writes everything down. She goes up to him to get his order if he needs anything or whatever.
Yeah, he's rolling 2 cards between his fingers, kind of idly. He smiles at you and says, "Oh, how sweet! Yes, I will have one of your most expensive wines in a nice tall glass, please. That would be perfect." And he places 10 gold down on the table and just looks back to his deck of cards, just kind of idly playing with them.
And is that like a exuberant amount of money? That's not a lot of money.
It's expensive. It means pretty much breaking out the good stuff.
Okay, cool. She just gives him kind of polite smile. She takes the coins, fetches them, and kind of makes her way. She moves her way kind of awkward, like she doesn't know how to carry herself. Her posture is really weird, kind of very stiff. It's very I don't know if you guys ever seen Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
The alien people, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't move like them, but you know how they're kind of stiff, right? She's kind of stiff like that. Like she doesn't move her head a lot. She kind of just like, she's like the she just kind of has a stiffness to her.
Yeah.
She moves on to this guy over here, the
Okay.
orc. He's an orc, right?
Yeah. He's an
Ogre.
ogre. He's huge.
Ogre. Kiki's bad. She can't tell the difference. Actually, she can, but
Bork's kind of he hasn't finished his flagon yet. He's just kind of like guzzling it, and he looks over and he's like, "Ah, small girl who brings tasty things. I am not yet ready for my next, but thank you anyway." And he kind of like he bangs the tank of it on the table and sort of smiles at you.
she nods, makes her way over to the next person. If he doesn't have her attention, she kind of like, slaps the table like to get his attention. The dwarfish-looking guy.
The dwarf looks round at you, kind of eyes you up and down. "Hello there. I probably shouldn't drink my own produce. I will have. Do you have any dwarven ale, girl?"
She nods her head if it's so.
"Ah, good. Yes. Bring me over a flagon of that good stuff. I'll pay whatever you like. Listy over there, we have an arrangement. They do indeed have an arrangement.
Okay. She makes her way back, walking very stiffly, but it's really mostly as she walks around the room and people get a chance to actually see her. It's mostly her neck area and upward, like her upper body is kind of stiff. Her lower body, actually, she kind of sashays and walks kind of with a swagger that a woman would have, you know?
Mhm.
And she makes her way back.
Cool. So what are the rest of you guys doing?
Well, Ruad, as always, is grumbling and muttering to himself in his own language. So I don't know if anyone actually speaks. But he seems to be looking off to his left constantly. Like he's grumbling and he's looking as if he's talking to someone who's standing next to him, but you can't see
Mhm.
anyone there. So he's looking a little bit unhinged, but not unusual for this place in this town.
So as you're talking to the person that no one can see, the tavern door kind of it goes to open slightly, and then it closes again, and you're like, oh, what's that? You kind of look round, and you see. Let's pop it into the right layer. You see a child enters the tavern. A little elven boy. He can't be more than, say, 7. He's very, very small. He looks exceptionally pale, even for those of his kind. Most Pyrenean elves have quite light skin, and he's very, very pale. He must have slipped through. The door didn't open fully. He must have slipped through it. He's a small creature, you surmise. And he stops when he sees you, kind of looks at you a bit, and then he's like looking around the tavern.
I'm going to stop and I'm going to stare at him. There's a slight scowl on his face. Which, to be fair, he's always seems to have that scowl on his face, but in this case, it's deepened slightly. And he's going to say, "What you want?"
The boy looks way up because you're like really tall.
I am pretty tall.
And he says in common, he's got quite a good accent. It's not as posh as your average Pyrenean elf. Maybe he's a touch rural. I'm looking for help. Do you know anyone that can help?
I grumble a bit. Bork points to the ogre. City guard, speak to him.
He shakes his head and says, the guard won't help. They said that because it's a different town, it's not their Jura, something about Jura, but they can't help me. I'm not from this town, you see, and my mum sent me to help. She needs help. We've lost my sister, and people have died.
Oh well.
Yeah.
You, you better speak to Listy. Points to the owner. She might give you some food.
Okay, I'll go talk to Listy. And the boy starts to kind of make his way down through.
But I've got my eye on you, no stealing.
And he's walking over to the bar. The boy notices you waving him, and he kind of looks to Listy and then looks to you, and he starts to walk round. As he passes the wizened goblin's like ears kind of prick a little bit, and it glances over at the boy and kind of like sneers, and goes, "In this place, doesn't belong here. Ugh, ugh, away with you, boy." And the boy kind of gingerly walks around him and approaches you.
Come here, boy. I've tea and crumpets on the way. Sit here.
Okay, let me have a seat. And he kind of he gets up onto the stool and he sits down on the stool.
So tell me of your
Um,
sister.
Oh, it's strange. So my mum and my dad are getting what is it? What are they doing? I can't quite remember.
A
He kind of like
divorce?
holds his head. No, no, not that. I can't remember. Anyway, my sister's gone missing. The town was attacked by things, and he gets a kind of a far away look, and then he kind of snaps back to you. And people have died. Mum said to bring people who can fight, and there would be something for them. I can't really remember everything she said. It's maybe I hit my head, and he kind of like rubs his head.
Hmm.
Yeah, he kind of looks at the breakfast that you're having, but he doesn't take any of it. He
I give him some.
he thanks you. He's like, "Oh, thank you. That's really nice of you. It smells like it's very good." And he kind of like sniffs it. After a couple of minutes, while you've been talking, the owner walks over and she kind of leans across the bar, and she looks over at you and says, "Oh, this your boy?"
No. He's one of the townsfolk. He says his sister's gone missing and some monsters have attacked. Is it true?
Oh, and she takes a closer look at the boy and she's like, She doesn't look like he's from this town. No, 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 no. Well, I recognise on his shoulder there, and she kind of like points a little bit, and on his like shoulder, there's a little stitched mark, and the mark is of it looks like a heron that's silver. I know that family. Their town is a day's walk from here. He's definitely come a long way on his own. Strange though, I didn't think we'd see anyone from his town. Not ever again.
Why is that?
Oh, the town has a he looks to the child. She looks to the child, and she kind of leans a bit close to you and says, it's what's the best word for it? It says it's cursed. Everyone who says it's been cursed, no one's really been there in quite a while."
Cursed in what way?
I'm not sure. Last thing I heard was that I remember what it was. The joining of two families, humans and elves. The thought of that kind of repulses you a little bit culturally. Yes, the houses were coming together, and the Inquisition found out. You know how they are. They like to stick their fingers into everyone's problems and make them worse. And last thing I heard, they punished the houses for it. Since then, no one's been to the town, and everyone who goes there says that they've turned back. No one really wants to talk about it.
Well, don't you worry about them. Boy, can you remember your name?
Yes. I'm Celestin. I'm the eldest of my siblings.
How many siblings have you?
Just me and my sister, my younger sister.
Ah. How long did it take you to get to this town from your home?
He looks thoughtful. He says, one day. I think it's been about one day? Someone up. Yeah, it must have been about one day. I don't remember the whole journey it was cold and dark, but yeah, it's a day.
Barkeep, do you know of any adventurers in these parts?
She says, we do get adventurers through here, certainly. Let's have a look. Well, you see that chap over there? And as he's moving around, she points at this fellow. He came in and he has that look about him of someone who's been out about in the world. I would say have a word with him. Of course, my bouncer there, the large bear fellow, he's often looking for work. I'm sure he would help out if you needed a little bit of muscle. Also, there's my barmaid over there, Kiki. She's super useful at many different things.
And you notice that she's carrying a bunch of steins and leftover cups, and she's got them all stacked up, like 16 of them, and she's got them all. And did I fail right now? I don't know if I failed it. Wait, did I fail? Let me see. Although I'm having a hard time remembering. Is it the lower is the better, right?
Lois, no, you aced it.
Okay, then she's aced it. Okay, so she's carrying like 16 to 18 cups, steins, glasses. They're all piled up, and the little, what looks like to be like 80-pound girl is like carrying them all, just quietly. Like, I'm not doing anything, even though she's kind of doing a balancing act.
Sinister, would you come with me? Perhaps after breakfast we could talk to that man that just went into the inn there.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
There you go. Eat up, lad.
You notice, roll me a perception.
Let's see. D4.
Can I get one too?
Less than.
You can.
Since I'm so observant and
You're in the area, yeah.
pay attention to everything. Perception. I'm gonna throw a 20-sided die out there.
Just a d20 rolling onto your score.
Yeah, I did. I have a 19. See, I passed. Unless it's a minus. 18.
Cool.
Just
Okay,
made it.
so you notice that he's pretending to eat, but he's not actually eating at all.
Why are you not eating? Why are you not hungry?
He says, I don't know. My belly hurts. I can't really eat at the moment, but thank you anyway. It was very, very kind.
Kiki comes up. She writes on her pad. Because she heard this, but takes her a while to make her way over there after putting the glasses down. And she writes on her pad, she writes sick. Shows him the pad.
He kind of looks at it and goes, maybe. I think so. Maybe because I was out all night.
Can I do a healing check on him? I'll pass that.
You can. So, Paul, so you're casting... Are you casting the armor spell, like on yourself?
I hate to say it, but yeah.
Okay, awesome sauce. So let's see what happens. I rolled for Winds of Magic, which is fine, so I know what the percentage is. You need to roll on your world table.
Yeah, he actually cast it as a second level mage, but no surge.
What's the if you know the percentage of it surging out, what happens if it surges out?
At level 1, if I roll a 20 on the level variation, it causes a surge, and then I roll the d100 to see what exactly happens.
roll the 100 for me.
She fails her check, and she doesn't like grab him or anything like that. Like in like get all close. She just kind of looks at him from a distance, like over the counter. She-
Yeah, he's a kid. You figure? Who knows?
I failed too, by the way.
Okay. You're the wild mage, not me. And before the place explodes.
Well, no, not explodes.
Explodes. I'm just kidding.
Oh, amazing. Cool.
So just he explodes, right?
Yeah, so as you're casting your magic, you go to pass your mage armor and you feel like it wasn't going to go wrong, and then you feel that sudden surge of power that you're not really sure where it comes from. And yeah, a stinking cloud appears in your room and stinks the room out. It's awful.
Kiki looks over at Listy. She writes on her pad. She puts smells bad. Probably she doesn't smell anything.
No, it only
Cool.
stinks about the middle of the next room.
Yeah, I was
Cool.
just hypersensing her.
Cool. Celesta, did you fart?
Yeah, there's a bad smell coming from the guest rooms.
Come over here. Drink your tea now. Come on. Excuse me, sir.
You see from the guest rooms comes a fae, the fae that are local to this region. You're not sure if he's responsible for the smell, but he left the room fairly quickly.
Excuse me, sir. Ah, I know, right? At first I thought it was the boy.
Yeah. How can I help you?
I've been told you're an adventurer in these parts.
I wouldn't say adventurer, but I seem to find myself in peculiar situations more often than not.
Ah. Well, it seems there's a village 1 day's travel from here. This boy is from. He says his sister's gone missing. And his village has been attacked by things. Was it, Celesta?
Yeah, I don't know. Mother just pushed me and told me to run. I heard growling noises.
Have you heard anything about monster attacks around here? Mr. Oh, by the way, I'm Sunrolled.
Good to meet you. My name is Yaslana, and I'm usually too absorbed in my books to hear any rumors of that sort.
Ah, books, yes. I keep my pursuits 50-50, both with people and with books. So, what have you been doing lately?
I am writing a travel guide for my journeys through these lands, and I hope that if I die, that it will help someone not be as foolish as I.
Interesting. Very interesting. Are you looking to travel anytime soon?
Well, usually with travel comes some type of adventure, and funds are running a bit low, so eventually I'll be on the streets anyway.
So the woman behind the bar, Listy, she's listening to you two talk, and she says, "Well, sounds like something needs to be done for this, and I happen to be the patron of the local adventurers guild. I'm sure I could see fit to provide you payment should you go and help this child with this problem. Maybe have a look, see what's happening, write it if possible. If not, at least find out what's going on."
Ah,
She walks a little bit away from the bar. She comes back with her ledger. She drops it on the desk and starts to turn pages. The pages that were normal sort of parchment turn to a red color. And she goes, she takes a bookmark out. She puts it down. She goes, monster attack, monster attack, monster attack on village, people in danger. Let's see, what could we pay for that? I suppose it depends how many you can recruit to go with you. Unless it's just you two that feel like you can go on your own, that's fine, we can do that. But I
Well-
do have adventuring contact.
we'll be needing a lot of help, I think.
Well, tomorrow I'm not thinking it's going to get particularly rowdy in here as it is the day of rest. So I suppose if he's up for it, my bouncer over there, the big hairy one, he could be very useful.
Oh. Right.
You missed out on a massive pun there, Lex. Just saying.
She says, "Well, how's about this? I can definitely raise for this particular endeavor 200 gold. Depending on how you want to split it amongst yourselves and the people to take with you's up to you. But as patroness of the Adventurers Guild, I can certainly support you in this action. The contract is standard with the guild. Obviously, try not to break too many laws, or if you do, don't get caught. Also, anything you find on site is yours. Yeah, and I think I could definitely help you out. You and your travelers, you look like you could use the help, and I'm all about helping." She grins at you from across the ledger.
Right. Right. Yes, thank you. I'm looking at her with this like shocked look on my face. Like I had no idea of the existence of an adventurers guild or anything like that, and she seemed to kind of worked it out to business level, like used car salesman almost. And
It's unusual for a human, certainly. You're used to humans just being servants.
Right, right. I'm a little speechless at this time. Like, I'm not sure whether or not to trust her.
And she sort of looks over to where Road is, and she says to him, Road, old fellow, come over here. Come here, I have a bit of business for you."
Looks over to Listy and grunts, and points to Key, and says, "She's trying to ride me again."
Listy grins and says, "I think she's just being friendly."
Depending on her charisma, that might not be a bad thing.
Starts stomping across towards the bar.
Okay.
And I mean, literally, the ground shakes in the vicinity. He's that big.
So
As
Kiki
you-
has trouble walking. She kind of like sways to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
She's light on her feet, and the ground's kind of shaking, and she's like popping off the ground a little bit.
As you close, Listy kind of looks at you, Road, and she's like, this child over here," she like jams her finger towards the elven kid, has a bit of a problem, and they're looking for someone to deal with it, basically. As you know, I run the Adventurers Guild here, and I have a contract. 200 gold pays not amazing, but as always, it is any equipment procured on site would be yours to keep. Naturally, I'll pay you. I think they need muscle. No disrespect to you two gentlemen. She looks at the Fae and the elf. I think they need someone with a strong arm to help them.
But
Yes.
tomorrow is rest day. Rest day is easiest day for us.
Exactly, old fellow. I don't really need you on rest day.
Kiki
Yeah,
writes.
but it's my day off.
Kiki writes on her pad, and she shows the
Plus,
Lesty.
they are deceivers. Let them deal with their own.
She shows on the pad. She writes to Lesty, and she says, "Let me go."
Oh, you'd like to go? Okay, Kiki. You go with them. But be careful. Could be dangerous.
She kind of mocks the bear, like, like, "Are you two like scared to go?" kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna go.
Okay, now don't take this the wrong way, Jason. But Road reaches over and grabs you by the sort of back of your dress and lifts you off the ground quite easily.
She makes a noise.
Okay, you persuaded me. I go to protect you, and places her almost gently back on the floor. Well, by gently, I mean he doesn't drop her from 6.5 feet or 7 feet tall.
Alright, when she sits back down on the thing, she kind of looks over and turns her head towards Listy, and she goes, "Ooh, ooh."
Listy smiles. She takes a quill out from the side of her skirts. She dabs it in a little inkwell, and she writes down the particulars of the contract. And she sort of turns the ledger around, and she goes, "Would one of you like to sign just to make it official?"
She taps her finger on the part where it says the money amount.
Oh, 200, my dear. Is that not to your liking?
She gets this gesture back and forth, like poking to Bear and to herself, like, "The both of us," kind of thing. And she writes, "For the both of us."
Oh, Kiki, no, dearest. To split amongst your group or party, how you split it is up to you.
She writes on her pad. She shows her the pad. It says each. And smiles at her.
Listy, she's has a little think about it. She just looks thoughtful, and she says, "Well, it might make things easier on me."
She writes in the pad again, and she writes, "Roads might get hurt."
Yeah, true. Okay, very well then. The Adventuring Guild has been quiet of late. You've twisted my arm, little one. And she goes to the bit of the contract that says 200 total. She scribbles it out and puts out 200 to each participant. And then
Her eyes get wide, and she looks down like, "Whoa, hey, didn't that work?"
I'm just gonna like, roll my eyes as much as a bear can.
But she holds the quill out to whoever wants to take and sign.
I sign it, and then I write on my pad, 50 gold for a ride.
Takes the quill and then scratches what looks like some form of signature, but it's some really sort of. It looks more like runes than anything else.
Hmm.
And then looks to Kiki and gently writes "no" on her forehead in the quill.
Okay, she stands there and takes the abuse because she can't do anything about it. She goes and tries to go to wash it off.
It's cheap ink. It comes off.
Right. When are we leaving?
So Listy has the book and she snaps it closed. Ah, good. I do like a contract. And she's kind of like takes the large ledger and she slips it under the bar. She says, well, it would appear that the boy says that his sister's in trouble. I would suggest leaving sooner rather than later.
Yes, of
Okay, he
course,
turns
it's-
and goes to the beer cellar and gets his gear,
it's first
all
thing
wrapped up in what looks like a seal.
She goes over and she hugs Listy, like a bear road style hug.
Listy hugs you back.
She looks in her eyes and then she writes in her pad. She says, on the pad it says, "This is just what I needed to get away from this."
Listy winks at you and she says, I know, dear.
She gives her another hug. Kind of steps away because she knows you gave her extra money to kind of be able to allow her to get on her own finally.
Listy hops over the bar somewhat deftly, like she's done it quite a few times. And she says, I know this town. It's to the east. I suggest if you take the main road straight off to the east, you should come across it. Ignore the signs saying to turn back. I suggest we keep the boy here. I don't think it's a good idea that he travels along with you.
very well. We may need a map to his hometown in such case.
She nods and says, okay, I can certainly sort you out one of those. She helps back over the bar and she starts rifling through. It must be under the bar itself. You hear lots of papers moving around, lots of books, which is very unusual. You wouldn't expect that in a bar at all. She pulls out a piece of parchment, and on it is a faded kind of map. Very basically, it indicates that this town, Snaresbrook, is 1 day's travel from here to the due east.
Alright, Celestia. Do what Listy says. Mind your P's and Q's.
Okay, sir. I'll be good.
And these chaps and I will have everything sorted out before you know it.
I believe you. You seem to know what you're on about. Okay, so is there anything you want to sort of acquire before you leave, or are you happy with your stuff?
Not a riding saddle for a bear, I can assure you.
Kiki goes and gets her goat, and as they're outside, she will. She's already changed. She's changed into a different dress. It has little slits in the back. And Rode has seen this before. He's seen it at least twice, and this new guy hasn't seen it. But while he's standing there, she kind of shakes and she kind of flutters. It's kind of like a kind of flutter, and her face changes, and it kind of just like she kind of morphs a little bit, and little wings pop out, like a female gelfling, you know, little wings come out, and she changes. She looks like almost completely different. You can see her facial features, but she seems very owl-like. And like I said, Rode probably seen this maybe once or twice. She's done this. She looks over to Rode. She just turns her head over to him because her eyes don't move. They just stay fixed like an owl. And her head turns about, I don't know, maybe 180 degrees around her head. And she looks over at Rode and she says, "Someday you'll let me ride you. Someday. But I see gold does not tempt you. I did get a lot of extra gold for us, though."
No. Keep your
I do
sexual
not
fantasies to
care for
yourself.
gold.
"And what is your name?" She looks over at him.
I'm Sunrolled.
"Sun rolled.
Rolled.
Like road.
Road.
Sun rolled."
Sun rolled.
That's almost like Road.
In the old tongue,
Sun.
it means sun touched.
Road. She looks at the other guy as he walks over. "In any case, I got a lot of gold extra for all of you. You should be grateful."
Now, stop showing off.
She quickly listens to the bear, kind of shies away a little bit. Her head kind of peeks down a little bit, timidly. She hops on her goat.
Awesome. So
Just-
it is a
Not really.
day's travel. You'll get there. You can either camp it out. So sort of once you get to almost to the town, it'll be sort of really late night. You could push through the night if you wanted, like keep walking, or you could camp, rest up, and then sort of hit the town in the day. It's kind of up to you guys how you wanna, if you wanna camp out and sort of sleep the night so you're fresh, or kind of march it all the way there.
I want to make a. I'll go along with what everybody else does, but I want to make like a spellcraft roll, and I want to make a perception roll to see if I notice any other magic users in the group. I'm actively looking for magic. Where did she go? There we go. Sorry. So I'll do that right now. So I'll throw a spellcraft out there if it helps me. And it'll be over the entire time.
Yeah.
And then perception check. Which is under also. Well, which is under. I failed the spellcraft, but
Yeah, you're not sure. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe not.
Okay.
So as you travel, the road it's a well-traveled, well-used road. It's not particularly dangerous at all. Once you get to about 2/3 of the way through the day, so you're looking at about 9 p.m.ish, you see a sign that says Snaresbrook, and slashed across it is "Do not go," and that sort of road looks as though it hasn't been travelled for quite a while. It's kind of a bit more overgrown. The snow's deeper there. It hasn't been cleared. The sun's starting to dip. It's getting colder. It's not cold to where it's dangerous to anyone yet.
Is there snow piled up on the road?
There is snow all over the place.
So how deep is the snow on the road leading to Snaresbrook?
You kind of have a look at it. It's about 2 feet deep.
okay. So
Uh,
the goat would have problems probably.
Not really, because I'm going to go down. Road goes down on his all fours, because he can walk like a bear, and he's just plowing through the snow.
Right.
creating A drivet through the middle of the snow.
Okay, so he's like point then. He'll take point, I guess.
Yeah, okay, you kind
I'll
of
wander
divide the
behind.
snow. Yeah, sun, it doesn't affect you at all. You walk across it like it's firm ground.
Might as in his own language show off.
So once it gets, you spend another hour traveling, so it gets to about 10 o'clock. Then it's about 10:30. The sun goes down. It's dark. In the distance, you can see the town. In the town itself, there are no lights, so no one's burning any hearth fires. No one's got any lamps on, which is unusual, certainly because it's cold. And it's fairly dark. You raise your head, You have a bit of a sniff. You can smell.
Road, what are you doing?
You smell wolves and something that hasn't had a bath in a long time.
Turns his head to look at Yeslana. No, it's not him. It's okay. We can move on.
Come again?
I am. Sorry, I can't do the voice very well today. For some reason.
Mm.
I smell wolves.
Would you like my voice changer?
Nah, thank you. That would make me sound really, really bad if I start messing with that. I'll sound like something out of a second Star Trek movie. So yeah, that was my perception check, by the way. If you want to know what that was.
Yeah, I saw that.
For those who don't know, I've got things written up. I've got quite high perception because I'm a bear. I sniff things out. I don't use my. I've got very bad eyes, unfortunately.
I'm just the opposite.
So I'm sniffing the air to find out. So I look around and go, where wolves?
Yeah, you can definitely smell a few wolves. Not a lot of them. There's maybe 2 or 3 traces, and there is a stink as well. Like it is like when you're in a town, and you go to the poorest district, and it's like the beggars. It's someone who
Unwashed-
hasn't
the
washed.
unwashed
Yeah,
masses.
Armpits and ass.
pretty
Road,
much.
Road,
Crotch,
would you
de-
would you like?
coming on the streets, that sort of thing.
Should I take a look, Road? He steps off of the goat.
I do not know. I feel that if they attack, they will die. Wolves do not bother my kind very often. We like to eat them rather than them eat us.
She looks at the other two, getting a size up of them because she doesn't really know them all that well. There's only 4 of us, right?
Are lycanthropes
Yeah.
common knowledge?
Yeah. So there are. Yeah, there are. So you know, as a Purune elf, that in the wilds there are lycanthropes, and they are horrendous. They were. The history of them is they got to here before your species did, and when they landed here, they had a very bad time. They wanted to settle and start a new life. You're not sure exactly why. No one's really asked them for very good reason. They're cannibals. They eat their own kind, but they also eat everyone else. They're generally found in the more uncivilized places in the world. They're quite opportunistic as well. They usually have servants. They'll take slaves, raise them, and then their children, the slaves' children, will be raised as sort of cannibalistic barbarian types.
Cool. I never thought I'd see the likes of a lycanthrope. Damned cannibals. Ugh. Barbarians.
She looks over at him. Lycanthropes? Wolf wares? What do you mean?
The lycanthropes here are a cannibalistic species. They were here before my kind, even. And they take slaves and other such things. Despicable creatures.
As she's facing him, her head turns completely around and is facing the opposite direction, looking back towards the town. Spins around and pops in place. And then turns and looks at Road. I take a look.
Do not worry about me, little girl. I can handle all of the wolves.
And she does this little thing. It's almost Indian. That only Road knows, and you don't know each other too well, but you know that she's smarter than the average bear.
See what you did there?
She's not a she's not just a barmaid, a maid. She knows a lot about a lot of things. She has very high perception, and when she doesn't really accept, she doesn't really know how to take whatever you're saying. Her head kind of just bobs up and down. It doesn't It doesn't
Like an
sleep.
owl is what
It's,
you're
yeah,
trying
it
to
just
say.
bobs up and down, yeah, like an owl, as if she doesn't approve, but whatever.
Ah, do not worry. The Road will protect you.
She hops back on the goat and pulls the reins in fast and kind of looks around very timid. Or turns her head around timidly.
Okay, cool.
They're gonna eat me.
I'm going to go back from all fours and stand up on my full height, which I wasn't even full height in the tavern because the roofs were too low. So I'm quite tall. And I'm going to remove the large shield from my back and take the spear, the strap to my back as well, and take that down, sort of remove it from its sheath.
Yeah.
So, am I going first then?
You can do, certainly. I will ping you guys over.
Could I tell where the wolves were from that perception check, or will I need to make another one?
No, you have a general idea of the scent. Can you see my little ruler?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's this kind of direction. And the town itself is like that direction too. So you're kind of
Just start walking towards the scent.
okay.
Does anybody else have animals? Like, do they have like a riding horse or anything? Like the two people, do they have like a donkey or whatever? Like you were saying that.
No, I
Okay,
don't have a donkey.
I'm gonna have to ditch my goat.
I don't think you could find a donkey that would carry me. At least not for long.
No, that would be cruel.
It would be cruel.
Okay, so once you get to where you're standing now, you can yep. Yeah, so once you sort of start walking forward, you get that feeling, the one that you get when something horrible is about to happen. You can smell that they're getting closer.
Road,
I'm going. Yeah,
be on
sorry. What?
alert.
I'm going to yell out in my own language, which does sound a lot like growling, snuffling, and barking. Come, skin changers! Come meet your doom! Loud enough so everything in like a 100-meter radius is going to hear me.
Okay, cool. So you roar that out.
I'm gonna run to the right here over to this bush and tie the goat off to the bush.
Okay.
And then, how tall are these bushes? Are they like taller or like trees? What are they?
Yeah, they're like trees. You could certainly tie it to the tree. That's no problem.
Okay, so how tall would you say that tree is then?
It's not too tall. It's about 10 to 12 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna go perch up on top of it and just sit there
Okay.
and listen squatted.
So after Road sort of declares his challenge in his language, he can see. I'll ping you guys forward a little bit so you can. So where he's standing, from out of the snow, kind of like three shapes. Where the snow was quite deep, they come puffing out of the snow. And I'll give you a little look as to what they look like. So the first one looks like a humanoid. It's wearing a cloak. It's wearing quite dark-looking clothing. It's got some kind of skull that it's wearing on its own head, and it's got like a wicked-looking knife. The knife appears to have been hewn from the bones of some creature or some person. They look decidedly unwashed. They have a cruel look in their eye, and for those with very keen eyes, notice that the person's teeth have been filed to points, and they look slightly broken in places. Flanking this person are two rather large-looking wolves. I don't know if any of you have wild knowledge or knowledge animal. They look slightly bigger than your average kind of wolf. They're exceptionally fierce and they seem to flank her quite loyally. When you shouted your challenge to them, their ears go flat, their backs kind of all prickle, and they
Yeah, because
start to
I'm
growl.
assuming they would know that I was there first. My race was here first before anyone. So they
Yeah.
know we've met before. Well, my race and their race have met many times, I assume.
You've no doubt you have. You don't have any specific lore yourself that you know
No,
much
no,
about them.
don't care
But
about
yeah,
them. Like the elves, we
it's-
don't care about them either.
and the humanoid doesn't say anything at all, just brandishes the knife and kind of points it at you. So unless is there anything anyone wants to do as a free action before I sort of
Yes,
everyone?
if I can do it. Does spellcasting count as a free action?
That rock thing over there to the left of him, is that like a rock?
If you cast a spell, then I'll throw you in the initiative. Free actions are kind of like pulling a knife or
Okay.
something like that.
Well, I've already armed, so I'll give it a second, see if anyone else wants to do anything, and then I'm gonna start off.
Cool.
I'll pull out my crossbow.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of ready up your weaponry.
I'm gonna start whirling my sling, and I'm gonna shout to Road, be on alert in case anyone else shows up.
Do not worry your pretty head about me.
All right, here we go. So, Paul, I think is AFK giving food to a child. Are you around, Paul?
Paul fell
Yeah.
asleep.
So he was going to go first. I'll just say he holds his action. So,
I'll hold
Webb,
my
you first.
I'm gonna hold my action too. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look around and do like a 360-degree head turn and see if I see anything else. I don't want to get flanked by anything else, or if anything else is creeping up on us. He can handle himself, and I could always, whip my head around and shoot. But I'm gonna look around the area. That's all I'm gonna do is look,
Okay.
even in
You-
not just at them but other things.
Yeah, you kind of you owlishly look around and you see that there's no one else around. There's no one hiding that you can tell in the snow. There's certainly no sort of anyone stalking up in any other sort of direction.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul, you were first in the turn order, so you can take your turn.
Oh, good lord. That was quick, huh?
Yeah.
Gotta get closer so I can be in range of throwing darts, that's all.
Okay, cool. Road.
Okay, basically he stands, he brings his shield up in front of him, points the spear over the top at the three creatures, and yells an earth sign. By the ancestors and the spirits of my people, I summon thee to curse these creatures, and cast curse on all three.
Awesome.
Basically, -1 to hit.
Okay,
Or
cool.
-1 on. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. You do indeed. The curse goes off. Your ancestral people hear you and bring about misfortune.
Basically, it raises the morale of friendly creatures and saving throw rolls to make by fear effects. So, furthermore, it raises their attack dice rolls by +1. So, I assume that they get -1 on all of those.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. All right, cool. So the horrible-looking humanoid looks at you and releases a high-pitched squeal like yeah, and just charges flat at you, brandishing the knife,
Yep.
and tries to stab you with it.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh no, she does.
Just about.
She
Okay.
doesn't. No, it's 19.
Yeah, it's 19. I thought it was.
Yeah.
So it almost catches you. You can see the bone looks quite recently removed from the unfortunate person's body, and it just kind of clatters against your armor, but does you no damage. Sun.
I'm going to loose slingshot at the closest wolf, which is way the hell back there. 85 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Any penalties to hit?
No, I'm not fussy about that. Let's have a look. Yeah, because you do the armor the other way round. So you rolled a 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good enough.
What size are they?
Medium. Ooh. Yes, you loose your sling and you catch it across its snout. It's like, "Arr!"
Ha! Take that, despicable creature.
Okay, so this wolf is going to follow her mistress and bound up to the large target. And attempts to attack the bear. That's a nope, a nope, and a nope.
Stupid bears.
The
Stupid
second
wolf.
one goes in the pack animal, so they'll attack the same target.
Don't you dare, because I will hurt you this time.
Oh, one hit. Does one hit, it rakes you with one of its claws. You take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And we're back to Yslana.
Dude, you got to admit, with that running back climb, I killed quite a bit of shit at your feet.
Don't care. That was in a dream, mate. I'll let you get away with it in a dream. Mostly because I was raging out on the elf, but that's just me.
First one, okay, good, good. So that is 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll take that off. Yep, your darts penetrate the side of its hide. You see that they land quite well. And the wolf is dealing with or attempting to deal with the bear man.
Was
So it
that
doesn't
you know,
really
you know
notice
that hit
it too
against me,
much.
Lex? Was that at -1?
Ooh, yes, because the -1, which makes it an 18, which is a miss. That's very true. So you do not lose
Just
that one
remember.
hit point. Webs.
Alright, be strong.
I'm gonna change bushes.
Run from bush to bush.
I'm gonna flutter my way over here and perch on top of this tree. Maybe get a flanking angle with my crossbow, but I don't want to fire into a melee, so I don't know how you do that stuff.
If you screw it up, like if you roll like a 1, then
Right.
you'll hit road.
Okay, so it's not like like.
No, it's not that complicated. It's literally
Okay,
if you
cool.
screw
Because I know people that like fully screw people over with that. I'll take a pop shot. I'll take a pop shot at the big guy because he's He's the ringleader for sure. So let me do that. I think I got it all programmed in there. We'll see. Oop, I don't think I get the bonus for Dex, do I? Try that again, because it's a crossbow. And the strength bonus doesn't matter, although also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I miss. Did I
You
roll?
do indeed.
Did I roll a 20? Did I roll one? Wow.
You rolled a 20. Well done.
I was gonna say a 20 is not gonna miss.
No, a 20 is good.
Ah, okay.
So that's cool. You can roll your damage.
Sweet. Daisy comes through for me.
Yes, your bolt flies back, and as the kind of skims the cloak of this person, and they yelp a little bit, glance around for a second during the fight.
Like, where did that come from?
Road.
Using completely Berry logic, I'm going to go for the wounded wolf.
Okay.
Because the wolves are bigger threats right now because they've got multiple attacks, whereas Bitchfink isn't. So he's just going to attack with his spear.
Sounds like he's gonna bear down on him.
Which one do you want, the left or the right?
The one that's wounded.
They're both wounded.
Oh, well, the one to the left.
Okay. Yeah, you take your spear and you slay it outright. Impaling it upon your spear.
Nice. Nothing wrong with a bit of impaling in the morning. Or in the evening, case maybe.
The humanoid looks to its dead wolf and attacks you. Oh wow, humanoid does nothing. And rolls exceptionally badly.
Not that
Son,
I'm
you're up.
overly offended, but
I would like to cast sleep centered
Yep.
about 30 feet beyond this woman here. Or sorry, 15 feet. Yeah.
Yep,
So
no
right
problem.
there. So I should be able to reach out to right about there. And it's D4. And I believe it's 4+1 hit dice or more are immune to the spell, and then 4+1 hit dice or less can be affected, and it affects 2d4 hit dice worth of creatures, so 6 hit dice, starting with the lowest hit die creature within range.
Yep, that's cool. So as they're fighting, the humanoid eyes roll back into the head, and they just slump backwards into the snow, and the wolf does too. It just kind of falls on its side asleep. Just...
Wow. Okay.
in that case, we're out of initiative, so just slay them out of hand.
Yeah, you can totally coup de grace them. Take your spear and you dispatch your foes.
Nothing like a fight to get the blood going.
Killed him with his bare hands.
So you notice that the wolves themselves they look badly kept. They're quite scarred. They've obviously been used for a lot of fighting, more so than standard hunting. The humanoid itself is a young man who is largely underfed, whose teeth are fairly rotten and kind of all filed to points. It looks extremely painful actually to have done. On his person, you don't find any money of any kind. There's miscellaneous bits of meat. It's probably best not to ask what type they are. And a couple of bone daggers that look like they've been recently hewn from a femur or some kind of large, steady, solid bone.
Well, unless you wish to skin them and take them home with you as a prize, we should probably move on.
Okay, you certainly can.
Perhaps it would have been better to interrogate her for information rather than coup de grace her.
I am not a deceiver. I do not interrogate.
Then leave it to me next time.
No. Continues walking towards the village.
Okay. I will pop you guys into the right area.
Why do I get the feeling this bad man is going to get us all killed?
Well, I don't know about you guys. I'll probably survive it. I think I'd be momentarily upset if Key died, but that'd be about it. Oh yeah, sorry, I knew Paul. Sorry, my bad.
I don't know. If that dream was any indication, I'll be the only one that survives anything.
Fair point.
I wasn't even in the dream, so what does that mean?
So the north of you guys in this direction, you can see the town. What if you want to start moving up towards it? That's cool. And I will.
I'm going
see
to
what you
sniff
see.
the air.
Okay,
Wow,
you have a
rolling.
sniff of the air. You can smell. It's the lack of what you smell. You don't smell any recent cooking, or fires, or any kind of things that you'd expect in like a town, like a little village. You do smell things that might have been dead for quite a while. It's kind of like that graveyardy smell. But other than that, there's no sort of trappings of civilization that you'd expect.
Can I roll a netherworld knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not smelling that. That's road. Sorry. When it becomes apparent there's a deathliness or ghostliness or kind of oddness of this place, then I'll do that.
Yeah, no problem.
Don't want to be one of those meta players there.
We're all go see what is going on.
Just do remember,
And saying that,
Rod,
he's sending Grohl out to see if he can spot anything dangerous.
there are more people's lives at stake than just us four.
When you ask Roll to do something, he doesn't answer you. Usually when you commune with your spirits, it's a very sort of intimate one-to-one, but it's almost like there's a lot of chatter, so to speak. Like
So
the
it's
lines.
like I'm getting static on the line.
Yes, yeah, it's a weird.
Bastards! I hate it because Grohl's my friend. Me and
Is he
Grohl
talk-
have nice long conversations.
Is he talking to himself?
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing?
So he doesn't actually answer at all. I just get.
No.
He looks momentarily confused for a while. This has never happened before.
Are you talking to yourself?
No, I talk to Grohl. I am not Grohl. I am Road.
Who?
He says
Grohl.
growl.
Who?
Grohl is my ancestors. Was my ancestors.
Must be a
Start moving
spirit or
into the
something.
village.
Mm.
Is that a lake in front of me?
Yeah, so as you look at the strangely perfectly oval lake, how weird.
Strangely, yeah.
This giant floating disc.
It almost looks like it's been ready-made for an oval.
No, weird, isn't it?
I know.
Strange. The geologists amongst you are puzzled.
I am not a geologist. I do not care.
As you approach it, you see that it's frozen. It looks like it's frozen solid. It's completely iced over. On the center of it, as you kind of peer a little bit, it is late. It's fairly dark, but your eyes are quite good. And because the moon is out and it's all snow around you, it's actually not pitch. You do get a lot of reflecting light from the snow. At the center of this frozen lake, there appears to be what looks like some kind of statue. It's a statue of a young lady, and next to it is another statue lying on its back of what looks like a knight, and he's drawn his sword and like fallen backwards, almost as though he's been slain. And they're the two statues at the center of this lake, this frozen lake. And the sort of the area around those statues looks different to the ice. It looks almost crystalline, stronger, and as though it's been there longer.
With the end of my spear, I'm going to test the ice for firmness.
Okay, you
Will
give
it
it a
bear my
poke.
weight?
It might do. You're like, it seems quite solid. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Think that it can bear it.
Step onto it. Getting ready to remember how to swim if I ever fall through.
You hear that kind of icy noise that as it sort of takes your weight, but it doesn't break. There's no cracks. There's no sort of sudden splashes.
This looks
No
fishy.
sudden immersion up to my neck in water. Then
Maybe those statues are stoned people. Who would put a statue in the middle of a frozen lake unless it was stoned people? It doesn't make any
just move
sense.
across the ice, testing it with my spear tip, my spear end as I go along.
Do you
Have a
get
look. Have a close look at the statue.
Okay, when you take a very good close look, it looks like it's a Pyrenean elf. It looks like it's wearing some kind of long dress. Looks very formal, and it's carrying in both hands like a bouquet of some kind of flowers.
What does her face look like? Calm,
Uh,
peaceful, or shit scared?
Looks kind of calm, kind of happy, smiling.
Okay, now what about the knight? What's going on with him?
He looks like he's been slain in a battle of some kind. His armor's rent across the front. As you sort of lean over, it looks like it's a human.
Does it look realistic?
Yeah, it looks very realistic. You, son, you get the feeling that there is a palpable sense of danger, in this town of unnatural, like an unnatural, unsettling feel to it. You can see why people who've passed through have used the word curse.
Move back across the ice towards the party.
Yep, the ice takes your wake, kind of creaks a little bit, but doesn't break.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Ah, they are only statues. Well-made statues, but only statues. I think we should go into the village.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, little man. Road has got this.
Be on your guard, Bearman.
I am always on my guard. Are the houses well built here, Lex?
Yeah, they look fairly good. They're simple in as much as they're simply made from partial stone, partial wood. That's funny, Gold. But they are well made. They don't look like they've been lived in for quite a while. Because the frost is all over the windows and over the walls. You get that when there hasn't been any kind of warmth in the houses for a long time.
Old Jack Frost.
Yeah, exactly. So you get the feeling no one's been in them for quite a while.
I'm going to use my my senses as much as possible. I'm not really going to roll for anything because nothing came up on my little radar earlier.
Yep.
So, but I'm going to keep hyper alert by using my sense of smell and my sense of hearing.
Yeah, it's very quiet. It's very still. There are no night owls. There are no animal sounds. There are no sounds of people or movement. It's utterly still, and that in itself is unnerving.
I want to try to move silently to one of the tops of these couple buildings here to get a
Mhm.
better viewpoint of everything, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, go over here.
So you're taking to the air pretty much.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit on top of perched on the edge of the
Okay.
top of the
Wait.
building.
When you sort of take to the air and you land on top of the building, it's not the roof seems fine. It's got a very thick level of snow on it, so you can kind of perch on the side without sort of disappearing into it. But no one's cleared it much. When you sort of look at the doorways, you can see that the doors to both of them are broken in. It looks like through force someone's kicked the doors in, like smashed them open, and their snow has been blown slightly into these buildings, and that's pretty much what you can see.
Okay, I'll apply my attention to mostly, like the vantage points in the distance and things like that. I'll leave everything close to the bear, and my perceptions will be most of the time in this game be like perceptions outward, like if we get
Yeah.
somebody comes inward on us or whatever. And anytime I leave the goat Arthur, he just kind of he'll wander or do whatever. He always finds his way back to me. I find my way to him. He's a calm goat,
He knows the way. He's a sensible goat fellow.
So we'll say he's somewhere back, I don't know, here, and you can say wherever he ends up, because I'm not
Okay.
paying attention to him.
Move around the outskirts of the house.
hmm As
passing
you
underneath
move around the
the
side of the house, it's the same as the other side. It's sort of caked in a rime. The windows you can't really see through because they're completely caked in frost.
stack up on the door.
Yep.
Oh, there's no door. Never mind.
There is. You need to go around the house a bit.
Remember, Road,
It's on the
no
floor.
unnecessary killing.
Yeah, it's been sort of kicked in, and there's like the snow's kind of drifted in.
We've already lost untold information when you killed that barbarian.
Blah 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 blah.
As you step into the house, it's cold in here. It looks as though it's been open to the elements for a long time. It's been ransacked as well. A lot of the furniture's broken. Also, you can see that there are corpses on the floor, and they've been out here for a long time. So much so that there's been predation upon them. They're almost completely skeletal. They have little bits of flesh on them here and there. And the only thing that's really fully intact is in the corner. There's a bed, and on the bed there's something there that's frozen, but it's kind of like it's on the bed itself. But it looks like no one's
Go and
been
have
in
a
here
look.
for quite a while. Okay. You have a look. There's looks like a parchment there. It's been splashed by blood, and it's frozen solid. It's like a little slate now. It's so solid.
Mhm. Pick it up and have a look at it. Can I read it?
Oh! Sorry, I played a lot of Cthulhu, and I know you always burn the books. I'm gonna just stare at the statue. I think that's the only thing of interest that's in the remote area, so I'm just gonna, like, eerily, like, just stare at it.
Okay. no problem.
And then I'll shut up.
Okay, let's see. Let me go to the right tab. Here we go. Handouts. Good.
If it's written in a language you can't read, Road, I've got a comprehend languages spell.
You lift it to your eyes, and this is what you see.
Hmm.
I've enabled it in handouts as well, so that way if you close this down, you'll still be able to open it and have a look at it.
I think I've already worked out what it is.
It's the moon, Road.
Yeah, I know. I may look like a dumb bear, but I'm not.
I think this confirms the theory that they're lycanthrope scum.
As you get to the doorway,
Mhm.
you show your stats to everyone, which is good.
I didn't mean to.
I know.
Whoopsie, Road. Whoopsie.
Didn't know you felt that way about us.
So as you get to the doorway, are you taking the note with you or leaving it
Yeah,
on the bed?
probably.
Okay. As you get to the sort of the doorway, you get that prickly feeling like something's wrong, and there's a gust of cold bitterness sort of flows over you, and the corpses in the room start to shudder and move, and a kind of a green ethereal light emanates from the sockets where the eyes were, and the corpses shamble upwards.
Kill them.
Let's get on the right layer.
Bloody layers.
I know, right?
Haha, Gold, you're so funny.
Right, let's see if I can get everyone in on this. That's a piece of paper. You don't get initiative piece of paper. So I've got Webb, I've got Islana. I don't have... I've got Road. Am I missing anybody?
Gold,
I
maybe?
don't think-
Is Gold there?
He's muted, but he's definitely there.
And these characters.
He's making very bad bear puns and letting chat.
Do the houses have rooftops?
Yes, they do.
Oh no, I couldn't bear it if they're better than mine.
Gold did have a token, but I can't see it now. I cannot see it. Alright, so... Let's
I
see.
mean, there are two more, you know, if you really need one.
Gold, do you want to be in the initiative? I wonder where your token went. I definitely moved it there.
Oh,
Okay.
it's there.
It was there, wasn't it? Where's his token gone? Let me grab another one. Let's grab a spare one. There we go. Yeah, that's cool, Gold. No problem. You can be hiding in the snow like a good thief. So, Webb, you are up.
I character's eyes blink. She stares at the statue. Fixated on the statue, she kind of sees it as kind of an enigma or a puzzle. There's a dead guy sitting next to the statue, right? I can see the
Yeah.
guy, right? And
You,
she
you
just
can
trying to.
hear when you stare at the statue, you can hear it. You can hear someone say, "Where is my daughter? What's her name?"
My head kind of turns in the direction of the road, and then back over there, and I try to just like. She's just like transfixed on this whole like puzzle. 'Cause she thinks this is a puzzle over here. There's something wrong with that, and I had to figure out: did the statue attack him? Did the guy die at the statue? Like so she's just like I don't know, OCDing on that while they're fighting.
Yeah, totally, no problem. So the first corpse comes shambling, crawling, and it gets to its knees and just kind of crawls over to the bear in the doorway. The bear who seems to be in trouble most of the time, because that's his job.
Trouble. You do not know what trouble is.
And from its eye sockets are a ghostly sort of green ethereal light, and it spreads its hands, and on the ends of its fingers are long pointed bones, and it swipes at you with them. And misses. So its frozen bones make a kind of a clattering as they sort of skit down your armor, and you kind of look round like, what? Yaslana.
Has gone in a totally different direction, so has no idea what the hell is going on over there.
You could look in the other house if you want. So in the other house, it's like the first one. The door's been broken in. It's pretty much ransacked. There's a few bits of parchment on the tables and so on. And you have a look at one of the frozen ones that looks like that. And I'll enable that in the handouts in case anyone makes it smaller, which you'll need to for the combat. Can be seen by all players. Good.
Round and round the bear goes. Where the spear stops, nobody knows. Except the thing I stabbed.
Son.
I'm casting a jump spell, and
Cool.
I want to jump on the roof just above this wall here, and I want to look for any kind of structural weakness in the roof if it's
Okay.
apparent.
Yeah, you jump onto the roof. The snow's fairly thick on the roof where it's never been cleared, but after sort of pouring around in a bit, you can see that the house hasn't been maintained for quite a while. A few of the struts that kind of keep the roof in one piece do look as though they've been neglected.
Okay, I think that's all I can do this round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, cool. This Skellybones sidles up to the bear and slashes at him with its bony hands.
Barely misses him.
No,
It hits, yeah.
Damn it! I tried to help you.
So it sort of drags its frozen bony fingers through your armor, and you feel it's like clip you, It does 3 damage to you. The thief who's hiding in the snow may continue to hide if he likes, or he can do something if he likes. Hiding in Chad's nose. Oh no.
I've just got the image of this little hump of snow moving around the battlefield, like in the Acme cartoons. You know?
Yeah.
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 The next dead thing. Yeah, the next
I'm
dead thing
guessing
is
they
going
all
to
can't get around
strike.
me at the same time, though, Lex, because there's not a lot.
No,
doorway.
yeah, you're in the doorway pretty much, so they're all just kind of clamoring at you. And swings and a miss. The Batman.
Obviously, the first attack gets his attention. The second attack makes him roar in pain, which will tell everyone what's going on, because it doesn't happen very often. And at which point he's going to turn around and spear the first skeleton that he comes across. Hopefully.
Ooh. You do indeed smash your side of your spear into it. So you smash your spear into it. These skeletons aren't exactly weapons grade. As you sort of, your physicality smashes into it, it loses coherency, and the corpse falls backwards. The head kind of like rolls back across the floor, and it lifelessly just sort of flops down. Web the owl.
Cool. If it looks like we're not doing
Be
anything,
right back,
Road,
guys. My headset's not recharging. I need to go and find another cable for it. Back in a sec.
if it looks like we're not doing anything, Roads, we're just giving you the solo fighter XP. He's on his way back, right? So cool. I guess I can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna keep looking around. Perception. I want my roll perception check. Maybe I can find this creature crawling in the snow. Shoot it with a crossbow bolt. Not today.
Nope. You're too fixated on the statue of the elf and it talking to you. That was way too fascinating. You do literally stare at it, taking in all the perfect details of the stone. The pores have even been carved into the skin. It's just fascinating. You're like, oh, fascinating. You open your eyes as wide as they can go to get a full good look at it.
Yeah, so my head kind of turns just for a second to look at something and goes, nope, I'm looking back over there.
Here's Lana.
Don't know if it'll be the same circumstances, but he did pocket that interesting little note.
Okay, good. I imagine you just walk straight out of the house.
Going to see what the damn bear's yelling about.
Yeah, you sort of jog over through the snow, and you can see that there are some very weak, badly put together undead sort of scratching at him. And he bellows as one of them scratches him a bit too much and then smashes one of them with his spear.
Oh, he might need some help.
He just might. Son, so your time on the roof as you were looking around for structural weaknesses, you do in fact see one. One of the main beams that holds much of the roof together looks as though it's in complete disrepair. You figure if you were able to jimmy it out, the roof might well collapse.
What if I were able to shoot it with my slingshot? My sling.
Yeah, you could certainly give that a try.
Okay. I wanna try that. Let's see. That would be AC 11.
That's fine. You let loose and you hit right on the cracked part. It begins to crack and shudder, and the whole roof just gives, slumping down on top of the occupants inside the house, barely hitting the large bear man, but not quite enough as he's in the doorway. There's like a loud crunch, and then that snowy sort of thwomp sound.
I'm cool, right? Sitting on perched on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll just, sort of, lower myself down the side, trying to safely avoid falling damage.
Yep, it's not particularly high up. You can sort of let yourself down. You're not under any sort of crisis or danger to get rid of it. So, like, do a complex jump or anything like that. After a few moments, there's no sound from under the collapsed roof or indeed the snow that's above it. Whether the creatures are destroyed or pinned, you're unsure, but there's no sort of scratching or scrabbling or any sort of weird noises.
Well, Road, you can definitely coup de grace these ones this time. I don't think they can talk.
No, no, no. You want to talk to them? I will get one out from underneath the snow.
That's just the thing, Road. I don't think they can.
Bad picky, picky.
They've no vocal cords, Road. How are they to talk?
I do not know. You want me to interrogate them?
I don't think I
I'm
speak.
gonna, using my spear, I'm going to see if they're still ambulatory underneath all that crap. I'm going to poke through where they were standing.
Okay, you do that. When you get in far enough, you can see that where the roof collapsed on them and they were quite weak, it shattered their bones. They're mostly all shattered. There's no sort of green light coming from them or anything like that.
I think you broke them.
Well, thank God for that, Road.
They were not strong like Rowan.
Repke goes to the end of the roof and tries to like wave to get Road his attention, but obviously he's kind of walking off in that direction, so she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm walking past you as you did that. So what do you want to do?
She shakes her hands back and forth, trying to get your attention.
Well, looks at her then and raises an eyebrow.
She turns her head, points towards the statue. She talked to me. She was talking to me.
Silly, silly key. Statues do not talk.
This one does. It was talking.
Make it talk again, then I believe you.
Okay. She turns her head kind of straight. And she just stares. I'm gonna stare at it again. and be like transfixed on it like I was. Her eyes kind of narrow and perches over a little bit further. She almost like hangs off the side.
Weren't we accompanied by a rogue? Where's the rogue? He's not under the roof, is he?
That would be awesome. He sneaks in the shadows and gets inside the place, climbs in the window.
So you look around, you can't really see.
Oh, shit.
Webkey's just gonna stare at the statue until it talks to her, and if it doesn't, she's gonna keep staring until Road gets, like, impatient.
You hear the woman's voice again. It says, "My daughter's missing. What's her name?" And then it's gone again.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? She said her daughter's missing. What's her name?
Oh, I did not hear anything, I assume.
No, none of you did apart from the owl.
She wants her daughter.
Well, does any of you have a daughter?
She looks back at the ruins of the building. Were any of they her daughter?
I hope not, because that could get unfortunate for her. But it is hard to explain to a statue that her daughter has died.
Now, does the statue move at all? Is it just...
Mm-mm. No, it's still just standing, smiling with a bouquet of flowers.
And it's a voice kind of like on the wind kind of thing?
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's not in your head, but it is. It's like it's on the wind. It's very strange.
Can I make out any type of like writing from here, or would I have to fly over there?
You need to flitter over there to have a look.
I'm gonna flitter over there. Don't kill me with an ice golem, please!
Tarask, roll for initiative.
Rask.
It looks solid, Gold. The ice is. The bear had walked across it previously and it hadn't cracked, so you figure you're probably good.
You figured he loosened it up for you.
So when you get very close to the statue, it says it again. It sounds louder. My daughter is missing. What's her name?
I look down to see if there's any inscriptions or anything like that. I'm very careful. She has to bend her whole posture to look, or bend her body to look down.
Mhm.
She tries to see if there's any inscriptions or any names in the statue.
You have a look down, and there's no. You can't see any inscriptions. There are some markings on the bottom that look like they're runic or magical in nature, but there's no sort of like language per se. They're like spread out along the base.
Can I spellcraft that?
Yeah.
Cool. Groove is in the heart. So I spellcraft that. Shiznackle.
Okay. So you can see it's an incantation of some kind, like a ritual. It's in a tongue that you don't recognize. It's like instructions, almost like a recipe, like how to do, like create a circle, stand around it, sacrifice innocence, cast a spell, that kind of thing.
Okay, so if I cast like comprehend languages, how verbal, semantic, am I like waving my hands around? They're like magic. I mean, can I do it kind of nonchalantly?
You could do that, and you'll know how to say the words if you want to say the words.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say them, but But I'm gonna definitely comprehend languages to see what it says.
Okay. It says, "This is a warning to any that cross us. The joining of two houses of different breeds is disgusting and heresy. May any and all that disturb this place be damned by the mighty goddess Aurel herself."
Damn it. Yeah, I fly away. I fly back over to where everybody else is.
As you're sort of flying past her, she says again, "My daughter's missing. What's her name?" Yeah, you make your way across the ice. It's a little bit slippery, but it's nothing too bad. It does have a layer of snow over the top, which is helpful for you because you stand on snow as though it's concrete. The ice
Webkey, look.
doesn't. The ice doesn't break. Nothing terrible happens.
Webkey turns her head, looks at Road, and she looks like she wants to spit something out, but she does in her beak-style mouth. Kind of like she has like normal mouth, but like there's a beak tooth. She says, "It's, and she turns her head. It's She turns her head back towards the statue and back towards him. Road, and she looks back at the statue. And then back at him again.
You hear the voice again. My daughter's lost. What's her name? Roll a wisdom for me, Webb.
I'll... This fancy Hypno character sheet. Oh wait, I can't do that.
Just a d20 rolling under your wisdom.
Right. Hello, this is right. Boom. I failed.
Awesome. You're compelled to answer. Give a name.
I say the name that was on the inscription there, the Laurel.
Aurel. Okay, you say Aurel, the dark goddess's name, and the statue.
Laurel.
I don't think anyone would say Aurel.
That's what it felt like.
So the statue shakes, and it seems to vibrate, and you can see that two tears well in the eyes of the statue and run down its face. And all of you hear the voice of a woman. She sounds both grieved and angry. She says, "That's the name of the one that killed us. You're them. You are the Inquisition." And around the ice, there's a cracking noise. And you can see that skeletal hands start to break through the ice as though they're being summoned. Let's have... Oh, that's lame.
I say, she's gonna curse us. And then I fly away over the building. That'll be the first thing I do when he tells us roll initiative. Unless he tells us to roll 3d6.
Good, here we go. So, from out of the ice, something drags itself. It looks to be like another skeleton. It's entirely frozen, so it has like rime coming off it, and it's sort of shuffling.
I'm back, sorry.
Welcome back.
I'm
So,
trying to get my headset to charge because it's beeping warning alarms at me and it's just not charging for some reason.
Yeah, it sounds kind
Yeah.
of robotic too, a little bit, to me.
So
Yeah, me too.
the statue was speaking to Webkey, and it asked Webkey for a name, and Webkey said the name of the dark goddess, which went down badly. The statue began to vibrate, it began to cry, and then what looks like a skeleton began to pull itself out of the ice from the ground. As it's still coming out of the ice, you can all take one action before it gets to do anything.
I'm going to fly the perch over here.
The owl legs it.
Later. But I will say, she's going to curse us. That's what I say. He flies over.
Hide in snow.
Rabbit style.
I want to take a
Nice,
half move
nice.
towards the house on the west side and also shoot the skeleton.
Yep, go for it.
Okay. Shoot.
This one's gonna go horribly wrong. I just feel it.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
there it goes.
Perhaps it's the horror of the undead, or maybe it's just because you're used to having servants do this kind of rough work for you. But yeah, you utterly miss it. Yaslana and Road, what will you do?
Well, I have to remember that my character is a very inexperienced first level mage who knows nothing about what his spells do and don't affect.
Cool.
As a player, I know this is going to be totally ineffective, even if it works, but he is going to cast sleep at this thing.
Okay.
No surge from my end.
Roll a d100 on your table. You've probably guessed the percentage I got for Winds of Magic this session.
Oh my god, oh, this is going to be ugly.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you
Kind of.
sound really buzzy though. Like a
I've,
machine.
I've noticed that the lower the number, usually the worse the effect is.
You may want to replug your microphone.
I can't. It's wild. It's not charging.
Oh.
Okay, so your spell goes off. You feel it cast. The dead thing doesn't sleep, which you're like, huh, interesting. Didn't know that would happen. And then you start to glow, really, really bright, bright like a light spell. It is dark, so you show up a lot. You're like a beacon, and I think there's an unfortunate effect on our owl.
Oh no. I gained 2 levels. Sweet.
Webkey, with that successful spellcraft, you do recognize it as a sleep spell.
Alright. She just does a little. She does a little one of these things. Oof. Falls off the. Falls off the building into the snow. And you just hear it kind of.
Oh.
Yeah, that was not a fun experience for you, Webkey.
It's cool. The snow broke my fell and fallen.
It did, yeah.
I have
you're-
many
you're-
feathers to make that fall.
and you're very light. You thump into the sort of the virgin snow. Road, whose mic isn't working, unfortunately. Can you hear us?
It's awesome. I saw that he casted a sleep spell on me.
So you get to do an action before it manages to fully drag itself out of the ice. So you could like attack it, or I figure you probably will. You're that kind of guy. All right, cool. Yeah, yeah. Nice. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, you full on charge it as it's pulling itself out, and with your spear, you kind of hit it like a baseball, and the top half of it just gets catapulted into the air and sort of breaks as it's in the air, and that ghostly light in its eyes goes out as the bones of it rain down into the snow. The statue in the center, you now can all hear. The thief noticed it before, but you all can feel like a buzzing, like a humming, and it is crying. There are tears running down its face. apart from Webb, who's asleep in the snow in the corner.
Dreaming of riding bears.
Whoops.
My
That wasn't supposed to happen.
God, he's talking in some strange language. So each one of you hear the woman's voice again, and it's much more aggrieved now, and you can hear it's upset. You hear it's crying. It says, I've lost my daughter. I don't know her name." Oh, do you say that openly to the statue? It slowly turns and looks at you. And it says, "You speak with spirits. Will you speak with me?"
Someone asks you if you're God, you say yes. That's code for "let me possess you" in D&D, by the way.
Yeah, the statue says, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this physical statue. Perhaps if you could connect with me. I don't know a lot about this. You know, as a shaman, if you were to perform a ritual, much like you do when you talk to Grom, you could probably summon her.
And if he gains a level of experience or intelligence point from this, pissed.
It blows that your mic's broken, man. Cool. That is creepy. Okay, you perform your ritual. You're unmolested while you do it, hopefully, unless anyone really wants to get that close to a dancing bear. And the thrumming in the statue stops entirely. You get that familiar feeling of commune. That's all right, dude. You get that familiar feeling of commune that you get when you're talking with spirits, as you do as a shaman. And as your ritual takes hold and then snaps, it appears as though a woman steps out of the statue. She's kind of ghostly and see-through. Everyone in the party can see this. Webb, you can wake up about now, I'd say. She kind of like steps from the statue, and she looks like this. So she looks like she's a Prune elf. She's wearing a wedding dress. She has a bouquet of flowers. They're winter flowers. And she looks very well-to-do. She looks like she was definitely a member of the aristocracy, which is odd to be in a little town like this. It doesn't seem to fit. And she's the one who has, around her neck, she has like a necklace, and on it has a crane, and that's the signal of her house, basically. It's different to the one the boy was wearing, ever so slightly. And she kind of She looks around, clearly not used to being out of this statue. And she looks at the bear and then to you others. She looks at you and says, I haven't kept anyone from anyone. I was stuck in the statue.
I fly over. Anybody that looks at me will notice I have snow all over me. I told you she talks.
Who is this Morgana you speak of, Road?
It's a dark binding and an evil pool.
She looks to the rest of the group and she says, I've lost something. I've lost a child. But I don't recall her name.
I'm afraid to say her name again.
I don't recall her name. If I could remember her name, I could call to her. Surely she would come back.
Webkey looks at she looks at Road and she says, "We mustn't speak her name again. There'll be more of the undead." And Webkey almost speaks the name, but then he says "who," that excites Webkey. She's all about who's. And if she doesn't speak the name, she says, "Maybe we have to help her find her daughters. But if we speak her name, the undead will come."
The ghostly woman says, dead. Undead. Dead? She looks over at you, Road. The moon spirit. She kind of looks up at the moon. Moon? Moon? My daughter. Moon. Of course, that was her name. Where has she gone? She looks down at the statue of the fallen man. Why? Where has everyone gone? I didn't survive this. My daughter didn't survive this. She was my flower girl. She takes like a couple of steps backwards, ghostily, almost back into the statue itself, and she looks as though she's confused. She drops her ghostly bouquet, and it just kind of like drifts through the snow and into the ground, wherever it is, probably into the ethereal plane.
I test my hypotheses and I say that Alariel name again. Alariel? Is that what I said? Ariel, it's Ariel. Ariel?
She snaps round and looks at you, and she frowns. You speak the goddess's name. I remember now. I remember what happened. And she points at you. You're from the Inquisition, the Keepers of Aurorial. You punished us all.
No, we're not.
You killed me. You killed the man I love. You killed my daughter. You did this. And her face kind of changes from a nice sort of ghostly elf to a more skeletal, dead-looking creature. And she lets forth a scream that hurts everyone's ears, which I won't do. And the ground in this area here begins to shake and rumble. The snow upon it shaking as though things are coming up from under it. She sort of looks to her statue. You should never have woke me, killer of my child. We might not be able to live in happiness and hope, but we'll kill you in death. And she steps back into the statue and disappears. And the ground here begins to snap and break and crack. The snow upon it is rumbling and moving. There's definitely movement beneath it as it's all breaking apart. Each one of you can take one action, i.e. sort of place and move yourself before whatever comes out of the snow comes out.
I go over here because on that other building, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Man, she's sensitive. God. At least we figured out her trigger word.
Just give Andy a chance to type. So Road, do you sort of hold your ground where you're standing, or do you kind of move around a bit? Holds his ground like a good bear man. Okay, so from this erupting mound comes a pair of hands, and a woman comes dragging out of the ground. She's dressed in her outfit for her wedding. She's thoroughly dead. She looks around, seeing if she can find where Webb is, and her sort of a non-pupilled white, milky eyes fixate upon her. You of the Inquisition, I will tear you apart with my nails. And the rest of them begin to drag their way out. So before your eyes, you see that the next one to drag themselves out of the ground is, it looks like it was once a human, probably a knight. The armor's rusted, and you can see a skeletal jaw from under his the top of his helmet. He doesn't say much at all. He's just brandishing a shield and a sword. The next one to drag themselves out of the ground is a humanoid. You're not sure if it was an elf or a human at all. It's decked out in some kind of religious paraphernalia. It must be a priest of some kind, probably not of Auriel herself. And last but not least, a very small form, the form of a child, drags itself from the ground. It looks like a little girl, probably around 5 or 6. Around her, she was carrying a basket, and in that basket must have been the flower petals. Horrible golden eyes stare from behind what look like kind of bandages that are holding her bones together. So arrange my icons a little bit. Get everyone.
It's
Yeah,
the
I can
Adams
just about
family.
hear you.
Do 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 do. Run! Run, you fools!
All right, here we go. So the wedding have arisen, and they're seeking blood. All of them turn to face Webb. Immediately, they're drawn to her as the bride points and screams her vengeance, declaring Webb an inquisitor. And it's Road's go. Okay. Okay. They all kind of the groom brandishes his sword in a threatening fashion, and the bride, like what would have been her nicely manicured hands are now just bony, sharp talons. She braces them at you. They're clearly going to attack you. Yep, you can strike at any of them you like.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. Get out the way.
No, Gold. It looks like one of the dead. So, are you striking the bride? Okay. You strike her solidly. She is corporeal, and your spear sort of goes through her dress, tearing it. You cleave out a load of dead flesh from her, and a couple of her ribs go spinning off. She squeals, and the groom bangs his shield with his sword and points at you. Yeah, that's true. Son.
I cast Expeditious Retreat, and I say, "Run! Run away, you fools!" And it triples my movement rate for 1d or 3 rounds plus 1 round per level, so 4 rounds.
Cool.
And I'm gonna start heading south at a movement rate of 36.
All right, cool. Nice one.
So that's 180 feet.
You hightail it. That is some speed.
Whoops. So about 50 more feet off screen.
Okay, you Roadrunner.
See, this is the time where we need the surge that turns everything to stone.
So Webb, the whole of this undead progression. Okay, you roll that. What would you like? What were you sort of gleaming? Just a general knowledge of what this is?
I want to see if there's any type of way out of this, like ghosts and beings like that are time space anchored. You know, kind of like they're
Mhm.
anchored to stuff. So I'm trying to figure out if there's any way out of this, like you know, how she's supposed to be really good at puzzles and stuff. I kind of like look at the statue and then I look at the bride and look at the statue, look at the bride, and like try to use my netherworld knowledge to kind of figure out if there's some sort of, you know, netherworld way out of this. Like if she wants something, if you can appease this spirit in some fashion.
So you think about this, and after observing the ritual, it appears that the wedding part, they must have been attacked during the wedding by the Inquisition, and you figure that most undead do have an anchor point or a person that anchors them together, and it appears that the vengeance of the bride is what is anchoring this family and this priest together and whole. You figure she's the linchpin to the group. As to whether the statue has a role to play, you're a little bit unsure. It doesn't seem to. It seems to have been just something that the Inquisition had put in later, almost like a calling card, like a way of showing everyone their power. But you definitely get the feeling that the bride is key.
Okay, so the bride's the key to the group, but I gotta figure out what she's anchored to in this world, and I know it's her hate. I know her hate is filling her. So sometimes it's an item, person, place, or thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Hmm. I mean, it's worth a shot. I could yell at the bear to destroy the statue, or destroy her.
This is true.
One of the two. Give me a second to think here. I'm just looking at
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, yeah.
my little puzzle ability. I wanted to see if it gated any bonuses. I don't think it does. I think it just means she's good at puzzles. Um. Let's see. Let's see. We'll say high or low. High. 10-sided up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the low part. So, okay. I'm gonna yell at our bear friend to destroy the statue.
Okay, cool.
Maybe not the right move, but you know.
No, yeah, you do get a feeling there's a connection between the bride, the statue, and the bride is the linchpin to the group. So you formulate that there's probably something there.
Destroy the statue! I kind of scream out. Or charp out, kind of.
Are you going to take any actions other than that? Because that's kind of like a thought process that you could do quickly.
I'm gonna pull out my, my crossbow, and if I can fire it, I will fire it.
Mm-hmm, you can.
Here we go then. Sorry for taking so long.
No, it's good.
I'm looking at it about my character sheet. Alright. Organization, Jason, do you have it? Okay, here we go. These non-simple sheets, God. Oh man. See. Submit. Submit. I missed though. Let's see. Did I get another 20?
Roll a 20.
Nice, that's twice today.
Nice. Who would you like to shoot with your crossbow?
I'm gonna shoot the ghost, so I'm hedging my bets. And I'm perched up on this thing, so I'm kind of high above him, but I know he's kind of tall. Could I get a shot at her? I mean,
The bride?
yeah.
Yeah, you could totally shoot the bride.
Sweet. The little barb goes flying over the bear's shoulder, and I hit the guy. There you go.
Cool. Roll your damage.
3 damage. Yeah, Daisy, doing some damage.
You rolled exceptionally well. You notice with your keen eyes that when you strike her, the quarrel kind of like hits her in the shoulder,
Right.
and the statue, the snow that was across the top shudders on that shoulder as well. And you're like,
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was actually going to ask you, does the statue change at all? But yeah, thanks for telling me that. Okay, cool. You're on top of this, Lex. Damn. Positive GM points there. +1 to GM points. There you go.
All right, let's have a look at this guy. So he is not in combat. Let's see. What does it do? 1d6 plus 2. He's not going to do that.
Does the statue look frail?
It looks. You're not really sure. It looks like it should be stone, but it's probably not. Stone doesn't act the way it was. So,
Yeah, I know what I'll do next round. I'll try to tip it over.
so the undead-looking priest kind of speaks in a ghostly tone. Do take this man to be your, and reaches out onto the bride and places his hand upon it. And all the people who are magically aware, you can see that he casts a spell. And as he does so, some of the flesh and the bone that got ripped out by the bear knits ever so slightly. So he did a cast.
How cool is this? She's getting backed up by her dead wedding party.
The little girl crouches into a squat. She looks around and she opens her mouth, and it's full of sharp teeth. And she hisses. She's like, "Eh," and comes bounding towards you, Eb. Yeah,
Bounding? Is that like a mummified like little wrappings go flying at me like a muumuu or something?
Yeah. Her wrappings are throwing behind her. She's on all fours, like bounding like a little wild animal. And she's going to make her attacks upon you. Let's see what I gave her.
Yes. So Morgana, Mumu, and Volibear in this game so far. Sweet.
It's weird, isn't it? She attempts to bite you. Let's see if she gets that bite.
She's like, lettuce wrap, bitch.
Rolls a 12. Does that beat your AC?
I have I'm guessing a six AC probably.
So that in ascending, because we do it the other way round, is what, 14? Yeah, she misses. Her teeth look wickedly sharp. If she'd landed that, it would have done you a lot of damage, especially that damage roll.
That would have killed me.
And you see that she seems utterly focused on you, and did so since the bride pointed and declared you. The bride.
She moves too, right? She moves towards the
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there she is. I see her.
The bride is tied up with the bear, so the bride is going to strike. She brandishes her hands and she goes to strike Road. 15's a miss, 14's a miss. And she's screaming her hatred, declaring the Inquisition deeply evil. Sneaky upside down road guy. Oh no. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like that. Well, while the kid's like trying to bite at the owl girl, yeah, you slip your hand in a pocket. You pull out 2 rings, 2 wedding rings. One's meant for the bride, one's meant for the groom. Upon the rings look as though they're made of some kind of precious metal. It's not gold, it's kind of not quite silver, it's like in between. You're not really sure. You might want to take it to some kind of appraiser to look at. And on both of the rings are a gem. One's red and one is green.
Put them both on, you can see in 3D.
Awesome. What has it got in its pockets? Just the 2 rings were anything useful. It had like some rotten petals and some other stuff, but the 2 rings were the interesting parts that you got out of it. That was a quality thief move. Islama.
Our elemental torch.
Yes, you are shining like a beacon.
Still trying to get these things to go to sleep.
Fails, roll your 100. Have you guessed the percentage I got yet?
Nope, not even trying to.
71. What happened?
Oh my god. I may have just killed the party.
Okay, what happens? Mhm.
Thankfully, it's only cast at my level, so it's only 1d6.
Say that doesn't hit
Oh,
everybody.
And in all fairness, I would have targeted the ghost lady because she would have been the one that everybody would have been hit with sleep.
yeah. Roll damage.
And, you know, of course, everyone within the 20-foot radius of her has to roll a save versus spell.
Right. It's from the center of her, at the edge of her icon.
I'll leave that up to him.
20.5 feet.
Let's have a look. What's the range on it? The AoE?
It's a 20-foot radius.
No, everyone's okay apart from Road, who's not okay.
Unless you want to go with the, well, no, it's 20-foot radius. Unless you
Yeah,
want
it's
to go
20.
with technical.
No, 20 is fine. Cool. So yeah, so you clearly this was part of the spell. You fathom. It must have had a good effect, and she erupts into flames. And she screams and she wails, throwing her hands into air as her wedding dress ignites and her veil goes up in flames. The groom, he throws his head back and he roars at a challenge. And the cleric, they all take damage. The cleric gets a bit singed and he like staggers backwards a little bit. The groom, he sees that you did that and he's pissed off. So he drops into a charge and charges you.
AC 12.
Oh, on the nose. You take 2 damage. He brings his rusty, cold, freezing weapon and draws it across you. And you can see that there's that green witch kind of fire from under his helm, sort of keeping him alive. Top of the round, we have back to the bear, who's a bit singed.
So first I light myself up with a light spell, then I blow off a fireball. I'm a damn good mage, let me tell you.
Ah, on the bride, that is a hit. 13's exactly a hit, -9. Good. Okay. You bring your spear around, you jam it in her, and you pull it outwards, basically breaking her in half. As she's sort of breaking, she starts to become incorporeal. And the bones kind of clatter to the ground, still smoking. Her wedding dress still like fizzing and popping as it's in the snow. The statue, everyone who's got it in eye shot, shakes and cracks along the middle. The cleric, I need to do a save versus spells. 2 failures. And 1 more for the kid. So the cleric begins to shudder, and his form starts to become a little bit more incorporeal. One of his arms falls off. He kind of staggers a little bit. The groom that's fighting you, Islana, the arm holding the shield comes off at the elbow, and he staggers and looks exceptionally weak. Roadrunner, he's pretty much legged it. So, son, although you legged it, is there anything you'd like to do? Gargamon.
I am. I think by now I'd be too far to really know what was going on.
That's cool. You can make it to safety easily, like slip into the darkness and be like, that was a bit too terrifying for me.
Yeah.
So, Webb, you have an undead child attempting to bite you.
Okay, now she missed me, right?
Yeah.
And she leaped at the house like an Amumu wrap kind of attack. So she was flying through the midair kind of thing,
Yeah, she sprang at you, yeah.
like Evil Dead style.
Yeah.
So if I fly up, do I think she'll be able to reach me?
You're not sure her jumping range, but you can certainly fly upwards.
I'll do my max movement. And I will fly way the heck up.
All right, cool. You go straight up.
I'll go, yeah, I'll go, and I'll, step away from the building a little bit, so as to not, use the building as a stepping stone for her to get closer to me.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. You fly way up into the sky, and you can see her witchy green eyes follow you until you get very high, and then she kind of looks back down and starts looking around for something else to bite.
Okay, and then I peer down at the statue because I'm transfixed. Because next round I'm gonna knock that thing over.
So the very weak-looking cleric, he shuffles over towards Road. He was technically attacked, so he can't cast spells. So he's going to swing his mace. Sort of clangs against your armor, but doesn't do much damage at all. The swing had no oomph to it. The flower girl looks around. Notices that there was a halfling trying to pickpocket her and successfully does so. So she she'll attack the thief. Totally. Let's attack the thief. That's poor. There's no way that hits your AC. Kind of like snaps at the halfling, but misses. And it's Gold's go.
Is that any better?
I can hear you. You're a bit robot-y, but I can hear you.
Right, okay, cool.
I'll swallow your soul.
The little undead girl's trying to bite you. You could totally leg it, yeah. Yeah, you can move them right here. That's cool. You are out of there. Yuzlana, you have a undead groom trying to kill you. AC 10, that is not enough. He manages to parry your attack. The groom brandishes his sword and he swings it at you.
See, he's lucky he's too damn close for me to throw darts at him.
Oh, that's a big hit. He drags his rusty, frozen blade across you again, drawing blood. Road.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Wow, okay. Yeah, you annihilate him. He's done. You smash him into little pieces. You're pretty much out of the fight. Back to Webb. He's
All right.
flying.
I want to swoop down and try to push over the statue, but I'm not very strong.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I can get the momentum. Maybe it's a loose statue.
Yeah, go for it.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I get to roll what, like a strength check or something?
Yep.
I can do this. I can fucking do this. Or something. I don't know, whatever you want me to roll, but maybe I don't have the strength at all, but let's see. Okay, so throw a 20-sided die out there.
Let's see what you get.
Big bucks, no whammies. No. 16. Obviously I did not.
you sort of fly to it. You crash against it. You don't do yourself any harm. And it does wobble. It's not stone. It's too light to be stone because you actually are able to move it, which, although it's heroic, you weren't really sure it was going to work.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no.
And so that'll kind of put you there. The dead flower girl looks around. See if she notices. She does notice that you're back down. Okay. She looks around and sees the object of her mother's hatred, and she runs up behind you, snapping at you.
Maybe she'll knock the statue over.
Oh, that's a good hit. Hits you for 3, biting into you.
Okay.
Oh no, and physical attack. That's double, isn't it? Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Well, if it's a yeah. Well, it's a clawing, right?
Yeah, she's chomping down on you like.
Let me see real quick. Probably is a lot. Yep. It is. It was nice knowing you guys. Where's our cleric at? Times like this when I'm missing Neville Whipper. Gold. He's always there to heal me.
That put you in
Yeah.
the negatives.
Do we not
Uh,
have a cleric at all, except for this
Yeah.
dead clergyman over here?
I have 5 hit points, I think. I don't know what it says. 5 hit points there, but I don't remember making it 5 hit points. Technically, she should have 4, right? So
Okay. So yeah, you feel her jump on your back, and you're like, it's terrifying because she's heavier than you, even though she's a child, and she bites down on the back, right into your back, and you feel like a flurry of pain go flying through your body,
okay.
and
Uh,
the last thing you kind of remember is like darkness falling in as you feel this child just biting and gnashing at you.
okay. Do I have an opportunity to be able like she grabbed onto me and I'm holding on to the statue? Is
Yeah.
there any way that I can like fall in a way that helps pull her weight to like pull down the statue with me? Like I don't care if it falls on me, but maybe I can pull the statue with me.
No, you're not quite heavy enough to pull it down with your combined weight, but you're not insta dead or anything, so that's okay.
Okay.
You're just unconscious with a crazy dead child on your back.
Sweet. I'll look dead. So that's good enough to feel full of ghost or dead thing. They don't know about the coup d'état.
This is actually true. Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, hi.
He ran away after he started the fight.
I didn't run away after starting the fight. That was, the owl
Yeah, so
girl.
yeah, the little owl girl,
Yeah.
who appears to be unconscious, has the dead child on her back biting her, which looks bad for her health.
I was too smart for my own good. I knew that was gonna work. I knew it'd be so many more stuff if I said her name again. Don't say her name, and then I'm like, I'll prove it saying her name. Well, some of them. I'm not crazy. Smart for her own good.
Nam nams. She tastes like chicken.
All right, cool. Stabby, stabby.
Yeah. I'd be like,
Lovely. That's it.
ran away. Doesn't get any money.
Nice. You drive your blade down into the child's back. The child struggles a little bit and stops biting the owl girl, which is good. And it looked like a solid attack. She looks fairly damaged.
You tell him, Gold, you got my back.
All right, Islana. Are you? Oh no, you're down, aren't you? Damn. So the corpse.
So we're like 3 mages and a thief and a fighter. This is awesome. The fighter like goes in and takes everything, and then the mages like run around in circles. Don't kill me! Don't kill me!
So okay, he rolled quite well. So he's not concerned now. He's done what he needed to do. He's going to come back around this way.
So we're a kiting group. We kite people.
Yeah. That's too far away. Okay. So he shambles his way. He looks really beat up. Over to Road and attempts to attack him. Oh, my roll is so laggy. And he rolls a 20. which beats your AC. He pretty much stabs you in the back. And now he has to take his crumbling, which he doesn't do. He failed his crumble, so he dies after his attack. Crumbles down. Yeah, so he hits you for 4 as he stabs you in the back, and as he does so, he kind of loses his corporealness. His anchor has been destroyed. The bride. He starts to crumble and falls in a heap. Well, it's not always double, it's a narrative. Because he was down to 1 hit point and his anchor was destroyed, he was weak. I busted his stats all the way down. So I won't give him the double damage. Okay. This is true. Yeah, your racial kicks in. So you charge the nearest aggressive target, which would be the child. Oh no. And do your claw bite.
Sweet.
There's no way she survives this. There's 0% chance she gets out of this. You would have to roll epically bad.
So what is the name of Volibear's ulti?
Is it Rolling Thunder or something?
Nice. So you got a good name for your ability, bro. Rolling Thunder.
It's a racial for his race.
When we go back to the village, my torn and tattered body, I might actually get to ride on his back as they take me back to the village.
Oh god.
You're all good? Oh wait, he did.
Yeah, you annihilate her. That's probably the most disturbing thing anyone here will ever have seen. Although a lot of you are down, so you don't get to see it. Thank God. Yeah, you tear the undead child to pieces, just in your rage, biting and ripping, crunching her skull, chewing up her bones, throwing bits of her all over the place. Yeah, and yeah, I'll give you that, definitely. You turn to the statue and you annihilate it. You smash it into little pieces before you drop unconscious.
The thief comes up and pickpockets us all and leaves. Great adventure, guys. Good job.
So we've got like a 30-pound bird person down, an 80-pound elemental down, and a 700-pound bear down. Who the hell's carrying everybody down?
Okay.
The worms?
Right, let's see. Where's my prepared thingy? Oh, it's gotta be here. There we go. Good.
The worst part is we're a day's travel from the nearest help. It's nighttime, so we're gonna freeze overnight anyway.
Okay, so there's good news and bad news. We'll go for the bad news first. The bad news is Road is going to wake up with a disgusting taste in his mouth, like he's never known. You do partially consume your target because you're just out of your mind, so that's pretty gross. The good news is you have defeated the undead wedding, the wedding that got crashed by the Inquisition and punished, and you destroyed the statue. In doing so, you have freed the spirit of the bride. And had you have not destroyed the spirit, then you would have had skeletons to deal with and other things to do with the anchor. But cleverly, your owl sussed this out. She steps out from under the ground near where her corpse lies, and she looks around. She kind of like surveys everything, and she gets her hand, she places it down on the snow, and she says, by my power and the power of the divines, by the great healers and those we have forgotten, by the enemies of Auril and all of those that stand against us, I bless these people who have released me and my daughter. And a wide radiance beckons out through the all of the sand all around you. Even the guy who ran off, you get a feeling like something magical is happening back in the village that you scarpered from, and your connection to the party, and also because it would suck if I didn't allow you to be part of this, power radiates into all your forms. You're all brought back to 1 hit point if you're below that, and your level goes up by 1. You all attain level 2.
Yay!
Which is handy, because otherwise the thief would have had to do a lot of dragging and bandaging.
So, okay, Webkey's kind of limping around.
Yes, this is true. Your shaman is awake. So yeah, this encounter was designed to where when you beat it, you were going to level up. She was going to heal everyone, which is good. So it's actually lucky that you worked out about the statue. She blesses each of you, bringing you up to level 2. And she starts to fade from existence when she does that. You've probably got a couple of minutes with her if you wanted to ask her anything in particular. Otherwise, she'll just kind of fade away.
I tell her,
Stuff.
ask her stuff. That's a nice dress you got. Did you buy that in Varen?
She looks at you and she says, this was made by some of the greatest seamstresses in our capital. Do you want it?
Is it look like a physical dress that she's wearing?
It looks semi-corporeal like she is. It's got a ghostly look to her.
Hell yeah, I do. I'd love to have that, that dress. By the way, dress of armor class 0 would be nice.
She touches her dress. She whispers a few words, and another version of it kind of leaves her body, floats out in front of her incorporeally, and then snaps corporeal and drops onto the snow.
Sweet. I take it.
So-
Put it on later.
So you can add to your inventory an elven Pruane wedding dress.
Sweet for when me and the bear get married.
Hmm.
See, wedding dress. Okay. Elven wedding dress.
Okay, so Road, you consecrate the ground, you do your shamanic stuff to soothe the spirits, which is actually a smart idea. As you're doing that, the feeling of oppression and dread, the silence kind of rolls away, and you can hear the sounds of the forest. You start to hear the birds that you would hear at night, the owls, the other creatures that move around. And the bride just kind of stands there while you're doing this, and she observes you. No. It appears that your spirit, Groll, isn't aware of anything that happened, almost like he wasn't there.
Weird.
It's pretty bad when 3 almost doubles your hit points.
first two I'll give you max, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing worse than rolling a 1.
Cool.
You're just like, bleh. Okay, so you have obtained level 2. The corpses themselves don't really have anything particularly good on them, apart from one of them did, but your thief has managed to get a couple of rings, which is awesome. And Webb has acquired a wedding dress, and should she put it on, I'll let her know what happens. You get a kind of magical vibe from it, Webb, because you're magical in nature.
Sweet. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm not gonna dress in front of everybody here, but you know. Unless I don't care about boundaries. Let me think about that for a second. How awkward can I make this?
So you broke up, was that?
I said, unless I don't care about boundaries, how awkward could I make this? Let me think.
It's up to you. You're an owl girl. I don't know.
Right, she's not chummy about her body, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, she just starts taking off her clothes in front of everybody. To put the dress on. You see her bare butt and everything. Because the cold never bothered her anyway.
Is it feathery?
There are some feathers. It's kind of like, you know, like Star Trek where you have those, like, the Trill where they have, like, those tattoos on their bodies, like little, like, freckle marks.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that going on. But actually, she's not as feathery as you think. Most of the feathers are just kind of around her back where her wings are, and around her feet where the talons are. She has normal hands, but she has talons for feet. So, like, there's some feathers, like, probably around, like, her ankles and lower. But the rest of her is just, like, actually like a normal woman's body, pretty much. It's just kind of grayish, like it is in the picture. And kind of has, like, freckles and stuff all over it.
Interesting. So do you put the wedding dress on?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. It would have been too large for you, this is true. Once you slip it over your head, it begins to resize itself. And it sort of clings to you like a perfect fit, almost as though it's been tailored for you. And you get a sense of... You sort of feel magic because you're a magic user, you're kind of used to that vibe, and it's giving off a vibe of magic, which is potentially a little bit dangerous because of the area that you're in.
Right. I look and I turn. Are the other people with us? Now that she's stripped down, are these guys like...
Unless they
Over.
all ran screaming, they're kind of where they are, yeah.
Okay, so, I see this guy's gotta be a mage, right? I don't know, did I discern that out of some spellcrafts or there?
Yeah, you saw him casting spells.
I mean, he cast a sleep spell, or at least that's what you recognize the words and gestures as, but then he lit up, and then he threw a fireball.
Nice. Okay, cool. Nah, I kind of just look at the dress like Elsa does her dress. Look over at the bear, kind of curtsy, ask him what he thinks.
Let's see what the bear thinks.
As I undressed and became bare naked in front of him. Naked, not furry, butts are just not my thing. That's good, right? Oh.
Sort of as you curtsy with it, it moves very well, and it does seem to fit pretty good. And you've got that kind of magical vibe coming off
And
it.
I'm assuming it kind of flows like around her wings, so it has like the little slits for her wings to kind of pop out. Since it was customizable. Or customized to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you expected when you put it over your back that your wings would become awkward, but your wings just seem to pop through it.
okay.
Odd. So, interesting.
She gives out a big whistle. she blows and she puts her fingers in her mouth, like next to the little. She has like, it's kind of like a singular beak and then normal teeth. Like her two front teeth are kind of molded together, but the
Mhm.
rest of her teeth are actually kind of normal. And she whistles like a mad whistle, like a proficient whistler for her goat to come.
Okay.
She's like one of those people that can put their fingers in their mouth and like whistle mad loud.
Yeah.
Cool.
Your goat trots up. It was nearby. It wasn't getting involved in any of this madness. Meh.
Alright, I kind of like try to like lay down on top of Arthur because I like kind of, kind of hurt still.
Okay, you can certainly do that.
Stare at the bear because he won't let me ride him. Even when I'm hurt.
Oh. Road, you feel sorry for the owl. You never felt sorry for her particularly before, but you don't have a choice. You haven't lost your mind. You feel sympathy towards her.
It says
It's
blinking.
weird, and you don't like it.
It says blinking orange eyes of sadness.
You think it's very sad that a girl would get attacked by a child and bitten to death almost. But it feels weird. It feels icky.
You can bear it. You can barely. You can hardly bear it.
Let's see what he types.
I have to pick on him while he can't talk back in chat. Or he actually can't talk, he has to type it.
Ooh, cure light wounds. Webb, can you give me a save versus spells?
Sure. Ooh, that's. I like what you just did right there. 16. I don't think I passed that. I'll have to see. It was a. I didn't roll it from the thing. I just threw a dice out there. Save versus spells. 12. I guess I did pass.
You pass. Yeah, so you go to cast your cure light wells. It goes off. You're a magic user, Webb, so you feel what happens. The dress absorbs the spell, and the spell doesn't touch you, and you're not healed.
Cool. That's better than getting healed. The realization of that.
It's a little unnerving. And Road, you would notice that the wounds don't heal. You don't see that usual wakefulness of someone that's been healed.
She looks at him, sad like. I'll be okay. She closes her eyes as if she passes out on the goat. And then all the ice cracks and we all die.
In terms of the weather gold, it's pretty far into the night. It's a bit cold. It's quite clear though. It's not snowing or there's no rain or wind.
Thank you, Dean and Lex, for that. Probably want to make some kind of a little burrow if I can.
Yeah, you could do that. So you guys have survived the wedding, found out what happened at the village, and you have defeated it. All gone up to level 2, which is good stuff. You've acquired some items, and Road's not impressed with the Pruane elf. Oh no, that's just not going to endear them to you, are they? And Webb has acquired a wedding dress. So in terms of mechanics, because mechanics are useful to know when you've got items that do things, Web, you can't remove the dress. Try as you
Nice.
might, tug as you can, the dress does not come off. Even if you change your form, it will just change with you.
Sweet, I'm a princess now. Awesome.
You're not sure of the full effects of this dress, only that it seems to absorb spells, like what happened with the Cure Light Wounds. You don't know
Right.
if it's just healing ones, but you can't remove it. So it's a cursed wedding dress. So you can put that, you can change its name in your inventory to cursed wedding dress.
Cool.
That
That's
cannot
cool.
be removed.
Thank you, Lex. All you're telling me is all I hear that's coming out of your mouth is Disney princess now. That's awesome. I'm all for it. Till she marries or until she rides on the back of a bear, she will be forever cursed. Cursed elven dress.
Forever cursed. Ride on, Bear Rider.
Yeah, so you guys can you could make camp in the town in this little villagey bit. The sense of oppression's gone. It's probably all right, or you could head back to the town. It's up to you.
Cursed
Dude, I
elven.
just died and came back. I need to rest.
Cursed elven wedding dress of virginity. Of chastity. There we go. I think we should head back. You can't put a price on a warm meal. Actually, you can. 200 gold. Each.
It is a full day's travel. This is true, and you would be walking through the night. That's also true.
Okay. Maybe it's a better idea to stay in the houses.
Yeah, the halfling can dig himself a burrow. That's no probs. Seems like a plan.
So the houses are pretty much intact except for broken off doors, right?
The one that has all of the snow in it was brought down by Sun, the roof, which crushed the undead, which was a good move. So that one's open to the elements pretty much. The other house is fine. That one's still got the roof on it. The door is kicked in, so it's chilly, but it's a good place that you could hang out in. You could start a fire in it.
Oh, chili's no real issue. I got a nice thick fur winter blanket that we can hang over the opening. Start a fire inside. We're good.
Awesome.
And if the blanket's not big enough, I got a freaking tent that we can hang over. I don't care. We ain't gonna be cold tonight. Let me tell you that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Lex, have we ever camped out before together as a party?
No.
It's okay, Gold. You can go through my things.
No, I was thinking about how I feel about sleeping with Andy.
I mean, he did get pretty wounded. He might get hungry in the middle of the night.
Yeah, he's pretty messed up. This is true.
Yeah, he's alright. He likes eating fish and clam chowder.
This is true. You still have the taste of that dead flesh, which is rather disgusting. Yeah, he would totally be warm. He's covered in warm fur. Yeah, you easily get all that firewood together, Road. That's no problem.
I mean, if we're that worried about it, you know, I can always cast a sleep spell on them. We see how well they work.
This you could do.
Webkey will inch her way over towards the bear until she's kind of close to him very timidly and try to lay next to him. For warmth.
This the same web key or a new web key?
This is a different Webkey. That's Vipka. It just works out.
Similar
Spelling, right?
spelling. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
She's
Following
nothing
me.
like that character, that's for certain.
That's cool. You can do that if you want. Your wedding dress doesn't do anything bizarre.
It doesn't keep me warm from the cold.
No, it's just a dress.
Cool.
You know, it was all good though when I turned around and made them guards all statues. Oh, you were all happy with my spells then.
Don't worry, guys. This character makes some mistakes, but all kinds of mistakes. But I'll dial it in. She'll figure it out, man. She'll be your intelligent wizard puzzle solver.
Yeah, Paul, I got 100% on the Winds of Magic.
Good God.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to figure out what your scale is. I'm just rolling with it. I'm having fun with all these damn surges, to be honest.
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay, do you have a macro for rolling hit points, or just throw a die out there?
For leveling up,
Yeah.
first two are max because I hate when people roll really low and they're like, ugh.
Okay, cool. Level up max somewhere, right? Don't know where that one is.
Unfortunately, we were involved in combat the first night. You don't get any natural healing.
Golden.
You don't. You don't have any unfortunate encounters. If you're resting here for the night, it will be uneventful. This place is usually avoided by most and still is avoided. I will rule that. Oh, my emails are going nuts. I will rule that you can have the standard healing for one night's rest, unless any of you have like bandaging, medicine, any kind of NWPs that you could use to help people healing along.
I got.
Yeah, mine are just in the field of like ice survival and stuff, which I think some other people have here too.
I got healing.
But to help avoid frostbite and other tips like that.
But I'm not very good at it, so we could try it. If anybody needs it, I can roll healing, and I don't know how much it's
Healing NWP?
NWP, yeah.
Yeah.
Herbalism will work. You could go out foraging for herbs and bring back some of the more healy variety.
Okay, so herbalism is on your NWP list down here. I
Yeah,
gotta
you can-
take a closer look. I gotta see how many slots I have to spend and get my exact NWPs, but I know I got winter survival as one of the first ones.
Yeah, and of course you can make NWPs up as well. I'm super flexible with that.
And I
I
think
like that.
his-
That's
I
really
think-
cool, Dungeon Master.
I think his list gold is just in addition to all of the other ones in the books.
Oh yeah, man, I get that. We can make up all kinds of stuff. He's given us some bonus ones already, and we can probably use the regular ones from the book for the most part.
I don't know. I guess it's up to Sun whether he hoofs it back to town or if he comes to see what the explosions and weirdness were. That's true. He did move at an incredible speed. So I think if you pool your healing resources, so you have a shaman has healing spells, must have some knowledge of it. We've got Webb has got healing as an NWP, so she can use that too. You can work together. Yeah, that's true, but you're a shaman, so you're probably used to using poultices and that kind of thing. Assuming Sun comes back, which I think he said he was, he's got alchemy use, so he could help with that too. I'll let you guys have a 1d6 roll for your hit points for the night of healing. And there we shall leave it for the night, for it's 12 o'clock.
I've got lots of paper we can use as bandages.
Yeah, you could totally do bandaging. Bandaging's good.
It's homemade paper. I don't know how good it is, but yeah.
But that was awesome,
So
guys.
did-
Well done.
Thank you, DM. So did we complete chapter 1, or are we still in chapter 1? And some other questions like that, like what's the schedule? Like, we'll be back on in 1 week from today?
So same time next week, and every week thereafter. You're still in chapter 1. You found out about the wedding. You still need to go back to the inn because there's the Sun there. See what's going on there. Report back to the head of the Adventurers Guild, and the chapter will continue. Yeah, and we will be back next week, same time.
All right. Sunday night, Chains of Ice.
That's right.
D&D 2e. Thank you, Lex. Great job. Fun. Sorry, I'm laid low on this day's gaming because I'm a little under the
Nah,
weather.
That's all
But
right,
I'll
dude.
be piping up with more halfling stuff next week for sure. And I enjoyed the other PCs in this, so that was fun to listen to.
So, question for the group. I'm enjoying the Wild Mage, don't get me wrong, but we have a lack of healing and fighting ability. Would you like a fighter cleric?
Yeah, I mean, I might make a fighter cleric after we die from wild magic, if that's what you mean.
I think that
Fair
the group, the number of people we have is pretty good. We could add even another player if you guys wanted to find somebody else for a cleric or something. Without
Yeah,
playing like
I've got an LFG up, and I've talked to a couple of people that might want to play. So someone new might join the group soon, I think.
say it's Duke.
Duke's in the group, and he would if he could. You know, it's weekend days are family days for him. Saturday and Sunday are family time.
Right.
So he's able to play in the Thursday game, and he can sometimes lurk in the Sunday and Monday games.
All right, I'm back.
Good.
Yep. Good night, Lex. Anybody else see you next week?
Okay. Peace, Paul, and talk on Discord midweek too.
Yes, indeed.
And Roll20 Con is coming up next week. The game will be part of the con next week.
Sweet. Nice meeting you guys. Thanks.
The con
thanks
goes
again.
on Sunday. It goes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Sunday game will be part of the con. And we're also going to run a reverse dungeon game in the 2E Tavern on Saturday. So you're all invited to that.
I'm not sure if Mark, or in the tavern you know him as Blue Griffin. I'm not sure if he put it in the tavern, but he's also doing a marathon one shot starting Friday and going until either the module is completed or the party dies, whichever happens.
Yeah, is this the one that's he's converted a BECMI module, a basic.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he has announced that one on the 2E Tavern, so that's another one that's open to join for sure.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I know he put it in the group chat. I wasn't sure if he put it into the tavern chat or not.
He definitely put it on the LFG forum of the Roll20. I saw it on there, and he definitely put it in the tavern Discord. I'm not sure if he put it in the tavern forum or not. I'll have to check. I think he did. Yeah, I think he put it in the tavern forum, and I stickied it. So it's everywhere.
Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, last I knew he had like 2 or 3 people out of the 7 or 8 that he wanted.
Oh, he'll get plenty, believe me.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's got
I remember
he's got time to
last
get them
year.
lined up. But in reverse dungeon, we're gonna do, I mean, virtually unlimited. We're gonna see if we can set a record for the most number of people. And last year, their number was 17 at the same time. I think we had about 37 over the course of the whole day. This year, we've already got 42 monsters ready to be played, so we can accommodate up to 42 different people.
All right, guys. I will see you all next week.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one.
Good night,
More
Paul.
chaotic spells.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah, later, guys. Thanks for the game.